blackouts at the Jake because of rain, so the Mariners decided to take in a movie. This was a horror flick Seattle hadn't seen before. It starred the Tribe's rookie arm, giving opposing hitters a bath of serious fastballs. Hi, everyone. Welcome inside the Fox Network Center. I'm Jeannie Velasco, along with Kevin Kennedy. The road to the World Series goes through Fox Sports, your exclusive home for the entire postseason. Those of you wondering about the Cardinals and Diamondbacks, we've seen some action with the tarp on the field, which is a good sign. If you are waiting to see that game, you'll be with us until they are ready to play in St. Louis. The Diamondbacks, of course, one win away from the franchise's first trip to the NLCS. The AL Divisional Series between the Mariners and Indians shifts to Cleveland today. All tied up, and that's pretty much what you expected, Skipper.
I did, because I thought Cologne could be dominant in Game 1. This guy throws 99 to 100 miles an hour. We saw that. He was absolutely outstanding in Game 1. That was big for the Indians. All right, let's go to the game notes. The Seattle Mariners are 88-9 when scoring first. That's very important, obviously, to shut them down early and often. Edgar Martinez, another guy, very clutch in postseason play. Sabathia is a rookie pitching today for the Indians, but he's won 7 out of his last 8 decisions. Tommy and Gonzalez got to get those bats going. 185 average combined this season versus Seattle. Now the Cleveland bullpen has done pretty well. 7 strikeouts and 4 2/3 innings of play. I expect a pretty good matchup today. You've got Aaron Sele, a right-hander with a pretty good curveball going. Sabathia, a 21-year-old rookie, throwing at 97 miles an hour. We'll see. And there'll be some shadows out there today, by the way, too.
Yes, as for the other ALDS, oh my, the world champions find themselves 27 outs away from elimination at the hands of the AL wildcard winners. To make the Yankees' plight even tougher to overcome, the series shifts to a ballpark where the A's have won their last 17 games, Kevin.
And of those 27 outs, Jeannie, they hope that they're not 14 ground ball outs like they had against Tim Hudson 2 nights ago. You just can't do that. You got to have good at-bats by getting down, using your legs, and getting through the baseball and driving it. Hit it with backspin. The Yankees are too good to be doing that. You can't consider them an old ball club when they won and we're 95 ball games this year, 3rd best in the league. Now look at Derek Jeter. This is how you hit the low ball. Use the legs, get the hands inside the baseball, and drive it with some backspin through the holes. It doesn't matter that you hit ground ball singles, but you got to hit it with backspin, hit it hard through the holes. The Yankees have not been doing that. But, you know, you have to give some credit to these 4 guys right here. Mulder, Hudson, Zito, Corey Lytle, who will pitch Game 4, should there be a Game 4, have been absolutely outstanding, especially since the All-Star break. Zito goes today. You're going to see one of the best overhand curveballs that you're ever going to see in Major League Baseball. He's absolutely outstanding.
If any team can come back, it can be the Yankees. I don't want to be all doom and gloom here, but since the wild card format, no team has ever rallied to win a series after falling into an 0-2 hole and then heading on the road.
And remember, Zito won Game 4 last year in the playoffs, so he has no fear of the Yankees, and now he's at home where he's done very, very well. Of course, Mike, you've seen as a big game performer. You're going to see a good performance by him as well.
And will it be a case of out with the old and in with the new kids on the block? The showdown takes place tonight on the Fox Network. The Major League Baseball postseason, by the way, has just one home. Watch the tourney unfold only on Fox. Coming up, the Mariners may be favored to win the World Series, but they have to get through Cleveland first. And the Tribe are not about to make it easy. Guess what? Neither are the fans, present and accounted for as we look live at Jacobs Field. Now he can play close to the normal feeling and mentality he had in the regular season. A translated, look out, Cleveland.
Absolutely, Jeannie. This guy, I think, was comfortable from day one over here in the United States. You know, he was a 7-time batting champion in Japan, averaging .353 lifetime over here. He led the American League. Guess what? At .350, he has been everything and more for these Seattle Mariners.
I thought he would do well here, but I didn't expect him to get off to the type of start that he has.
We knew he was an excellent outfielder, which he is. We knew he had an excellent throwing arm, which he has.
Holy smoke, a laser beam strike from Ichigo!
He's got 4 or 5 different swings. Some of the ways he hits. He's the only guy I know that can single to the catcher consistently. He'll chop it off and play the catcher and catch it safe.
He has a routine, I understand. Can you describe it? Did he go through a dream?
He's so loose. I mean, he can just go into any stretch he wants, and you look at him. That looks painful.
It's like he's hurting himself.
Yeah, he's on deck, and he's just in a full, you know, he could be in a full split. Like he's a 14-year-old gymnast.
What's he like with you guys in the clubhouse?
He's a super guy. He fits in very well with his team. He jokes around. He's got a good sense of humor. He understands more than you think he understands.
He's a great kid. He's got the respect of all his peers in the clubhouse. He's fit in like a glove, and my easiest chore is putting him in the leadoff spot and watching him play.
Look what he's done versus the Cleveland Indians this year. 441 average. They have not stopped him. He is the key today for Sabathia. They're the left-hander for the Cleveland Indians. They've got to shut him down. So far, Cleveland has not been able to do that.
First pitch scheduled for 4:20 Eastern, and while the sun is shining, trouble is lurking. Shades of the 97 ALCS between Cleveland and Baltimore. Teams combined for 33 strikeouts because of fierce shadows. Same type of shadows that are expected today, meaning it will be tough for the hitters to pick up the ball. So how's the Cleveland confidence level?
It's pretty high. I mean, we're a good team. We know we're a good team. I think we like the fact that all the attention is on us this year, and the expectations are not as high as they have been in previous years. I think we're in a good position to win some ball games and to upset a team. I think if we come out and play hard, you know, I think we're going to have our hands full with Cleveland, and it is a 3-game series basically now. And it's important to win Game 3, but is it dire to win Game 3? No. We'd like to. It makes things easier, but the Cleveland knows that too, and I think Cleveland's going to come out and play just as hard.
Well, Travis Fryman and the Cleveland Indians are going to face Aaron Sele's overhand curveball, one of the best right-handed curveballs in baseball. When he's on, it drops off the table. When it's not, he hangs it. A curveball can be a fly ball pitch. That's going to be tough for a power-oriented Cleveland Indians team. Sabathia, left-hander, 6'7", 240 pounds, has a 97 power fastball, a pretty good sweeping curveball, and this is what he likes to do against righties, up and in with that 97 to tie you up. But the key for Sabathia is going to be his control. Will he have it? He's averaged 5 walks per 9 innings pitched this year. That's not good against a team like the Seattle Mariners because they work the count. They value 3-2. So look for control problems for Sabathia. If he's on, he's going to have a good game. If he walks a lot of guys, he's going to be in deep trouble today.
Maybe the key with Sabathia is the fact that the Mariners have not seen him yet. They've just watched him on film.
That's a good thing. 97 fastball live is a lot different than film. Believe me, that thing is explosive, and he's big. He's 6'7". He's powerful. If he can keep his emotions in check for a young guy, 21 years old, in his first postseason appearance, he'll be okay. Maybe the veterans around him can help him out. All
right, that's going to do it for us in St. Louis. The Cardinals and Diamondbacks have outlasted the rain, darn it. The tarp is off the field. That game should get underway shortly in St. Louis and Arizona. You will get bonus coverage from Cleveland until they are ready to play at Busch Stadium. Also tonight, we may witness the end of an era as the Yankees face elimination in Oakland. For now, the journey continues in Cleveland. With the Indians, so they won't need to match their greatest comeback in 75 years, as was the case versus Seattle some 2 months ago. The neither team is lacking for confidence. The road to the World Series continues next on Fox. Wins to their credit. The Mariners were supposed to have a 2-0 lead by now. But a funny thing happened on the way to Cleveland. The Indians managed to upset Seattle in their own backyard. Josh Lewin and Rex Hudler have more from Cleveland.
Thank you, Jeannie. Ready to go in Cleveland, where the best of 5 is now a best of 3. The American League Division Series tied at 1. And today, despite an earlier forecast of rain, we look great. Game 3, the AL Central champion Indians against the runaway winner of the West, the Seattle Mariners. Josh Lewin along with Rex Hudler, very nice to have you with us today on Fox. And for the Cleveland Indians, they send out a guy today, Hud, with 2 C's, 17 wins. That's CC Sabathia, and he's only 21.
Yeah, but you know what, Josh? He doesn't pitch like it. This guy, we're not supposed to make the team this year. Look at those numbers, 17 wins. Opponent average, 228. I mean, most wins by a rookie since 1948. That's impressive. He's carried himself well. He's got a big body, a little unorthodox style delivery. Could be baffling for those Seattle hitters.
He'll be opposed today by Aaron Sele, who has been there, done that, but he is on record saying it is absolutely a plus that Sabathia has never faced the Seattle Mariners until today.
I think the pitcher definitely has the advantage. You know, you can read the reports on him. You have the velocities. You can look at game film on him, but you just don't know, you know, what does what does his 92-mile-an-hour fastball look like? Does it really jump out of his hand? Does it look big out of his hand? What kind of movement does he have? How much does his breaking ball break? How does he change speeds? I think it probably takes you 2 times through the order before you really get a good feel, unless he makes a mistake.
Aaron Sele is making his 5th career postseason start. He has not won one yet.
No, he hasn't in postseason, but Josh, you must have run support, and he hadn't gotten any runs during those times he was pitching in postseason. What I like about Sele, though, he spots that fastball on both sides of the plate, sets up that huge rainbow curve they call a jelly legger, and it is a very effective pitch to go along with that changeup. Makes him a nice pitcher.
The jelly legs atop the order for Cleveland pretty much, at least in the first 2 games of this series. Lofton and Vizquel, we said right at the top of this series, Rex, they had to get on. They have not been doing that a lot.
No, they haven't. Just 2 hits between them so far, but the Rabbits must run and get on if they're going to be successful. What they have going for them is confidence. Look what they've done career-wise off of Sele. Omar and Kenny Lofton, these guys have been doing it career-wise against Sele, so that will be a plus in the confidence department for them.
All right, the Indians and the Mariners ready to go, hoping the Indians are that they've got something going at the top of the order. You know Seattle does with Ichiro. The Mariners ready to rock Game 3 of the ALDS. Cleveland and Seattle right after this on Fox. In Cleveland, and moments ago, a very poignant scene here. The first pitch thrown out by the outgoing general manager of the Indians, John Hart. He threw the pitch to Jim Thome and merited a standing ovation. Kind of, I don't know if you saw the movie Dead Poets Society, HUD, but when all the guys in the class stand on their desks and say, "Captain, my captain," right at the end, Robin Williams kind of waves and says, "Thank you, boys." Well, John Hart, when he first got to Cleveland, was mercilessly ridiculed. They said, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. The Indians haven't won in years. Things are not going to turn around. Well, they have. And a chance for him to go out a winner. Got to get by Seattle.
That's right. I mean, I tip my hat to him and the work he's done here, bringing Cleveland the championships that he has in his tenure 6 out of 7 times. But what was interesting was to see him throw that opening pitch, you know, and I played for John when he was a manager for a few years, and he threw a nice strike, Josh. That's a good way to relieve it.
John Hart, one of his big decisions to make coming out of spring training, should CC Sabathia be on the team or not? Good call. 17 wins. Ellis Burks has befriended him, one of the veterans that helped his 21-year-old along. We spoke to Ellis Burks about the poised young left-hander.
Well, when I first met CC in spring training, I knew he was one of the organization's top prospects. And he was on the verge of making the club in spring training. And I told him, I said, you know what, there's a great opportunity that you have here. You're going to possibly make the club out of spring training. He's like, yeah, right. You know, he was in A-ball and AA the year before. And I said, no, I mean, you have the makeup and mechanics to be, you know, a pretty good rookie this year. You know, a lot of people were thinking, okay, this kid's going to be good. But they had no idea he would be this good this soon.
Coming out of spring training, when the Indians loaded up the equipment truck from Winter Haven, the last suitcase on it was Sabathia's. 17-5 and gets the start today against the Seattle Mariners. We'll show you the Mariner lineup right now. This series tied at 1. Ichiro 4 for 7 in the series. Cameron Boone, Martinez, Olerud, Buhner in left. Dan Wilson and David Bell at third. Mark McLemore at short. You see Edgar Martinez highlighted. A lot of great numbers in the division series, although against the Indians 6 years ago, had only a couple of hits. We'll have a chance for at least that today against Sabathia.
Look at Sabathia sitting up there with 17 wins. That's good for even a veteran player, but CC has a very live fastball. He'll move in and out of the strike zone. Slider, curve, and a changeup. He's got no postseason experience, but, you know, he might have a few jitters. We'll wait and see how early he can get through these hitters. But, you know, he's got to get through that lineup once or twice, and then that'll gain some confidence for him. And then watch out, because he's got a live fastball. There's his grips here. He's got a 14 fastball. He uses that high in the strike zone. Then he'll use the breaking ball, which is a nice little snappy, and his changeup is very effective.
Starts with a fastball high to Ichiro. As we look at probably the top vote getters in the upcoming Rookie of the Year voting in the American League, Sabathia and Ichiro. Sabathia starting with a couple of fastballs that were not close, 2-0.
He's got to be careful. because if he gets wild and walks the park, that would be an ugly sign, because this year he walked several batters for innings pitched. Strike one will be the key for Sabathia early in the count. 95 walks in 180 innings pitched.
Only Hideo Nomo walked anymore. There's a strike, 2-2.
It'll be good if the Mariners, the more pitches they can see from Sabathia, the better off they're going to be. Leadoff hitter's like a spy. He's going to go up there and check it out and pass it on to his teammates when he gets back.
Ichiro, a tough man to strike out. If he is rung up at some point in the at-bat, it'll be Paul Schreiber doing the ringing. His third consecutive division series work. He's only 35 years old. Veteran group the rest of the way. Loop shot left field, base hit for Ichiro. Make him 5 for 8 in the series now. Cameron coming up. We'll check out the defense for the Indians while we have the opportunity. Rock solid up the middle. We've told you about that the first 2 games, but don't forget Travis Fryman, Gold Glove caliber at third. Branyan, Lawson, Gonzalez in the outfield. Branyan, the one new look. Cordova went in the first 2 games. It'll be Branyan today. Travis Fryman, one of the veterans that Cleveland runs out there. You know, when Seattle swept the White Sox in the division series last year, Rex, the White Sox had only 47 games of postseason experience on that roster. The Indians have 247.
That makes a big difference, especially, you know, the more veterans you have in that lineup who've been to the big dance. That's going to help them out. They're not going to get as nervous and not rattle as easily. Now, Sele is going to be interesting. Ichiro, he's a very good leadoff hitter, so he gets on base. He's going to put some pressure on you. Sele doesn't have a slide step that he's comfortable with. He's just 21 years old, and that's as close of slide step as he's going to get, which is good. That's probably the thing that he needs to work on the most. But in his first year, hey, he's just trying to get used to hitters. He's getting used to the big leagues. There's a lot of adjustments he's had to make this year. And in the postseason, he'll really have to keep an eye on those base runners.
He's been at 2-0 to both Ichiro and now Cameron. 3-0.
It'll be interesting to see CC's nerves and how Seattle's going to be able to get on and rattle it. It's hard to contain Ichiro. He's a phenomenal baseball talent. He gets on first base a lot in his first at-bat. 56 bags he stole.
Sabathia fours and a strike. And there's not a lot of wiggle room here at the top of the order if he survives Cameron. Got an AL MVP candidate on deck, Brett Boone, who mashes lefties.
Mariners a good fastball hitting team. That's what Cameron's looking for here. He doesn't have an overpowering move. He's got just an average move. This is something he'll improve on later as he gets more mature and gets more experience. Manella put Cameron in that second spot so he could see a lot of fastballs.
Slammed to left field by Cameron. Branyan has to play it off the bottom of the wall. Ichiro coasting to third. And some deja vu. Remember how game 2 got going. Ichiro reached and then Cameron clobbered one. Difference is this one stayed in the yard.
Same thing. When the pitcher falls behind the hitter, he's got to come in with a fastball. Cameron knew it. There it was. Good fastball. Gets his hands extended. He's got some good pop. He hit some good power numbers this year. Goes off of that wall. Ichiro runs. He has to slow down and make sure Branyan can't make the play. Continues on to third base. Second and third, nobody out for potentially the MVP of the American League, Brett Boone. We don't know that.
Could be the guy taking his lead off third. That's Ichiro. Little pop-up. And finally, a first pitch strike for Sabathia.
It's going to be so important for him if he's going to continue in this game. Seattle is a very aggressive offense. They have put pedal to the metal almost all the time against every team they've played. Except for the first game, Bartolo Colon, he absolutely shut the lights out.
Mile-an-hour heat.
There's a little reach back, a little hair on this fastball for you. Brett Boone down in the strike zone. Overpowered it.
That pitch outside. The 14th pitch here in the first inning. Remember that in game 2, 14 pitches in. It was already 4-0 Seattle. That against Chuck Finley.
CC's been a little bit out of that strike zone, but when he comes in, they've been making him pay for it. Ooh.
Rattled the catcher Diaz. We stay at 1-2.
And at 94, when you foul tip that ball, sometimes it picks up speed. Umpires and catchers really get a jolt. Maynard Diaz, both of them got it.
Doubleheader. Runners away from second and third. Still nobody out first inning. Until now.
Big time pitch there by Sabathia. He pulls the string with a changeup. Maynard Diaz wants it down. It was a little bit out, but very effective. You could see Boone. He tried with an emergency hack, but there'll be no chances. He'll have to soldier boy it right back to that dugout. 1-2, 1-2.
Gill came in for a quick word with Sabathia on the mound. A guy that hits extremely well, does not run very well. Edgar Martinez. They are going to go ahead and put him on.
They're not going to mess around with Edgar with one out. They're going to go ahead and get an open base at first, set it up for a double play around the horn.
And the guy that they're going to pitch to, John Olerud. First of all, it's lefty-lefty Hud. Second of all, Olerud has only hit one ball out of the infield in the first 2 games of this series. He is 0 for 7 overall. And Charlie Manuel says, let's go get him instead of messing around with Edgar.
Good move. Because Edgar, he's the best situational hitter in baseball. I mean, this guy has an idea every time he steps to the box. He's a very dangerous hitter. Olerud, I talked to him. He says, hey, I feel great. They have been pitching me very effectively. They've been pitching him tough, high fastballs away, and he'll get a chance here with ducks on the pond to make something happen early for Seattle.
Seattle hitless in this series with runners in scoring position. They are what Olerud is overall, 0 for 7. Still, this series tied at 1. 5-0 Cleveland in game 1, 5-1 the other way in game 2.
Sabathia looking for the pitcher's best friend, the double play ball. "21 times this year, Josh, John Olerud hit into a double play.
Ball inside.
CC's first curve of the afternoon. Sometimes he'll overthrow it. That one was overthrown a little bit. He's got a better arc to it when he takes something off. But first inning, pitchers just try to gauge their pitches, see what's working, which ones aren't.
Tried to come right back. Again, he missed in.
The pitches that hitters hit into ground balls more often are the balls that are moving down the zone, that are below the knees.
Aaron Sele, you talked about it, has never gotten much run support in the playoffs. He's a very interested in first inning observer. Check swing in the fastball. Yes, 2-2.
And that'll wake up Lou Piniella. As Greg Gibson makes the call, says he went across the plate with his bat. Tough angle to see from here, but apparently so.
fastball has not been getting over with any kind of regularity yet.
Almost guarantee it. He'll see one here. Bases loaded. He doesn't want to walk a run in. There's nowhere to put Olerud. You got to challenge it. Sometimes you take your chance and let the hitter get himself out. Keep the ball down, hoping he hits it on the ground. Olerud, he's a guy who will spray the ball all over the field. You can't really defense him one way or another. Although Lofton up in center field is playing him a shade to the opposite field. Thinking Olerud's going to hit the ball to left of center field. You see him up here. He's playing just a shade.
Started with the Ichiro single to left. What new? Mike Cameron followed with a double off the wall. Boone, a strikeout victim. They put on Martinez intentionally to get to Olerud. So we'll now see an 8th pitch of this at bat. He walked him, and Seattle has the lead. We talked about it right at the top. The one thing that CC Sabathia has not completely harnessed yet is the control. He just about led the league in walks during the regular season. That's in only 180 innings. Nomo had quite a few more than that.
This is exactly what Seattle wants to do. Whenever you face a guy you've never seen before, you want to make him pitch. See all of his pitches. Make him throw as many as possible. So far, given A to the Mariners for plate discipline.
Now it's Buhner, who has had a couple of big playoff home runs in this ballpark.
CC with a little 96 on the black outside, almost unhittable. Buhner, he sprays that ball all around. His power is the opposite field, right center.
Seattle raced out quickly in game 2 in the first inning. This is loaded walk. You remember the 97 ALDS wreck. The Indians started a 21-year-old against the Yankees. That was Jared Wright. Mike Sabathia hadn't faced a playoff opponent during the regular season. Jared Wright was nervous in the first. He allowed 3 runs. Rallied to win. Tomey tracking it. And Sabathia needs that.
Big out right there for CC. Buhner not happy with himself, but good pitch. Sabathia keeping everything away from Buhner.
Now the inning left to Dan Wilson. 1 for 6 in the series. 4 for 66 lifetime in the playoffs.
Dan does a great job of catching, calling games. He's a good fastball hitter. CC will have to be careful.
That pitch count awful bloated. 32 already here in the first inning. Trying to scrape the outside corner, he missed.
Lots of times when the bases are full, that first pitch is the one that hitter goes for. CC knew it and felt it, threw him a little off-speed pitch.
In the air again for Tomey. Wandering over to make the catch and end a 34-pitch first inning. Seattle fiddling for 1. Well, Seattle has struck first here in Cleveland. Phoenix and Seattle get ready. They are getting ready for the Diamondbacks and Cardinals. We'll be sending you folks back to the studio to get you set for the start of Game 4 in the NLDS. Meantime, those of you expecting the full 9 or 10 or 11 innings here, we welcome you back to Cleveland, where it's 1-0 Mariners, and now the Indians try and get things going. The top of the order has not been getting it going at all, at least not in 2 games. Kenny Lofton hitless. Vizquel has 2 hits. Alomar has 1. Gonzalez, Tommy Burks after that. Aaron Sele is on the mound for Seattle, veteran right-hander. 15-5 during the regular season. We'll scout him for you in just a moment. Steve, right one to Lofton.
That's key for Sele in any pitcher. Strike one's his best pitch. Needs a fastball working on both sides of the plate. Will set up that 12-6 jelly legger. He's a veteran. He's not afraid. He's going to challenge.
Lofton continues to be hitless for the series. Aaron Sele, we talked about it. The fastball either side of the plate, but really it's all about the hook, isn't it?
That's exactly right. There's that fastball, has a little run to it. The slider has a quick little break to it that way. The curve, whoa, it's a hammer, they call it. And that changeup, very effective. What it does is it backs up at home plate, tries to throw the hitters off, timing off. Got 4 good pitches and command of all of them. With that 1-run lead, that's going to help him. Something Sele's not used to working with in postseason. Go right after these Cleveland Indians. Keep the ball down.
Keeping in mind Seattle 88-9 when scoring first this year. They jumped out on a bases-loaded walk in the top of the first. Off the plate, 2-1. Omar Vizquel has faced Sele 40 times, has only struck out against him once.
Vizquel, he knows how to shorten up his swing and put the ball in play. Sele, on the other hand, he's not overpowering. He was at one particular time in his career. Now, he's got good command. He's able to challenge the hitters by working them off balance and keeping that ball down. Changing speed.
We talked about it. Absolutely imperative for the Indians to get, if not Lofton, Vizquel on and running around. Wow. Strike called, and he has flipped the bat like a baton. Now he's got to come back.
And he's trying to work Paul Schreiber, the home plate umpire. He thought it was high. He took it upon himself to head off. Sometimes that'll irk the home plate umpire.
He gave that bat a majorette toss. I mean, that thing stayed aloft for a good 5 seconds. Now he pokes one in the left, and he can go ahead and take first base anyway.
And Vizquel, he's very confident against Sele. You can see him just slapping the ball to left field. No problem. You go away, I'll slap you there. Career .450 hitter off of Sele. Very confident. Alomar, .286 career hitter off of Aaron Sele. He, too, needs to get on track in the postseason. 1 for 9. Really got to have Alomar.
A couple months ago, Ichiro was asked to predict the American League batting champions for this year. He did not choose himself. He chose this guy. Alomar did finish considerably off the pace. 14 points behind Ichiro, but take a number. Everybody was way behind Ichiro.
Vizquel, high percentage of steals. He'll go. Sele's tough. He's got quick time to home. You can see him barely pick up that leg. He'll use a slide step, and when his hands break to go home, he's 1.2 to 1.3 by the time the ball gets to the catcher's glove. That's a good time. Anything over 1.3, you got decent speed and able to get a good jump, you should be able to steal the bag. Dan Wilson throws well behind the plate.
Getting the right base hit. And Vizquel is steamrolling the third. Ichiro, remember, got a cannon out there. But to the plate is Vizquel. Ball gets away. Alomar to third.
Just what about early. Top of the lineup's got to get on. Here it is. Ball right down the middle. Alomar says, I'll start the charge. He hits it past Olerud. Ichiro, he's looking behind him, looking where Vizquel is. He overthrows the cutoff man. There wasn't going to be a play at home, but because he throws offline, Vizquel got in easily. You can see where he airmailed the cutoff man. Olerud's the trail runner. The trail cutoff man, he couldn't even hit him. That'll allow Alomar to get all the way to third base. He got one out, and Alomar at third with Gonzalez up.
And the infield back with Gonzalez up, one out. Gonzalez, who led the major leagues in sacrifice flies during the regular season, a chance to cherry-pick an RBI right here. And very unusual to see Ichiro miss the cutoff man, you're right, Hud. It goes as a double and an E9.
Ichiro's got a little adrenaline going himself. You can see what he did in April. He was hot early in the season. He struggled a little bit in the second half.
Hit on the hands, a flare to left. Base hit.
Just like a heavyweight fight. Both teams going at each other early. Gonzalez has a big swing, and sometimes the first move by an outfielder is going to be back, and that's what happened here. Sele jammed him with a high and inside fastball. Buhner took a step back, and then before he came in, it was too late. That's in no man's territory. RBI single.
And if we want to keep talking boxing, the man at the plate with a roundhouse left. 49 home runs in the regular season. This is Tommy.
Sele must be careful here. Tommy looking to get on track. He just has one single. Tommy, huge crowd favorite here. Started the season slowly with the Tribe, and came on quickly towards the end.
Has worked awfully hard crafting that very unusual stance. He'll start out by pointing at right center field. Not coincidentally, that's sometimes where the ball ends up in the seat.
Sele doing his best to keep it out of the wheelhouse. Working the outside and low. That was a changeup there. 2-0. Good hitting count for Tommy. Sele, good poker face. Doesn't want to show any emotion. Lupinella, he's not messing around. He's going right to the pin. You can see him. He waved down there. He didn't even wait for Brian Price to get on the phone.
Swinging on 3-0, a line drive. McLemore has to scurry to the bag, and he got there. The mysterious vertical by Mark McLemore at short. After Olerud corralled a hard one-hopper.
Charlie Manuel turned Tomei loose. There at handcuff. McLemore started his jump a little too soon, but hung up there a la Michael Jordan with a little hang time. Was able to hold on. Get the force out at second.
McLemore, remember, was not supposed to be the shortstop in this series. The sickness of Carlos Guillen is the reason he's there and not in left field. He made a big play. Now the veteran, Mr. Burks.
That's two good pitches in a row now. Sele jammed Tomei with the 3-0 fastball, and then throws a get-me-over curve to Burks.
He didn't look surprised that Tomei was waving away on 3-0.
Not really, but he could feel the momentum of the previous innings. It might not have been a bad idea to take a strike there. They can come back in again.
Ball and a strike to count to Ellis Burks, who provided the first home run of this series. Game 1. And a 5-0 Cleveland win in that one. Seattle bounced back in game 2. Slowly hit. Oh, they juggled. And a close play at first. Boone got tripped up a little. Don't make early dinner plans. 2-1 after 1. Wow.
This is brought to you by Budweiser with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you by Siemens, Siemens Global Network of Innovation, and by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
In Cleveland, Aaron Sele and CC Sabathia, the starting pitchers here in game 3. Brian Price, the pitching coach for the Mariners, trying to smooth things out with Sele, who gave up the lead in the first inning. Cleveland 2, Seattle 1. And now CC Sabathia will try to level things off as well. CC with his family in town. His mom, Margie, in from California. Speaking of families, David Bell, whose dad played here in Cleveland, played very well. Buddy Bell, Gold Glove type third baseman.
Excellent baseball family. A lot like the Boone family, who's also represented here today. We'll see if CC can settle down a little bit this inning. Got rid of some of those postseason jitters in that first. 34 pitches that first inning.
Fouled out of play by Bell, 1-2.
CC's delivery is unorthodox. There's Mom. See, she's eating those seeds. A little bit nervous herself.
Fouled right back again.
What makes it tough, what makes CC so tough is the opponent's season batting average when behind 0-2 or 1-2 is 145 average. Whenever he gets ahead of you in the count, watch out, because he'll turn the lights out on you.
Oh, we've been mentioning it already. It is something to keep in mind. The Mariners have not seen him up close and personal yet until today. Got a jackhammer the fastball on the inside corner, and he missed. Not by much.
David Bell has been nursing a rib cage. We're getting some reports that he might have re-injured that during batting practice, but so far he looks okay. He's had some good rips.
Pretty consistently 96 with that fastball. After the slew of fastballs, he changed it up. The 17-game winner. Although we talked to CC, he says the most important win, not number 17, number 10. And he told us why.
You know what I'm most proud of? My mom stopped smoking. I mean, we had a bet before the season. If I won 10 games, then she would, quit smoking. And I think that's the most, biggest moment this year so far for me.
We can reference the movie Airplane now. Is this the right day to have quit smoking?
That's right.
Well, you mentioned it. It looks like the sunflower seeds are the nicotine substitute.
That's good. Proud of her. Proud of CC. What a rookie season. I was talking, he's a big guy. They've never faced him before. He hides the ball well.
Let me ask you this, Hud. As McLemore is down 0-2, the Indians, as the home team, they can choose to wear those blue tops or the white jerseys. Are you surprised they didn't go white today? Get that white baseball kind of hidden in against that background.
Of course, absolutely. That would help him hide that ball even better.
White, blue, red, green, mauve. Doesn't seem to matter right now. He's bringing it.
Got that right. He is getting rid of those, got rid of those jitters early. Now he's just coming after these hitters. What makes him so effective is that fastball. He gets the hitter sitting on the fastball, and then he pulls the string with the changeup and the curve. Keeps them off balance.
By the way, it is the starting pitcher who decides what the entire team will wear. CC most comfortable wearing the blue. Ichiro takes the strike. And you figured, Hunt, if you really wanted to double down to make it as tough as possible, the white jersey top, that would have been one thing. Also, possibility of shadows still later in the day.
That does affect the game. It did in Seattle, and it is here.
The original forecast was for rain and at the very least a lot of cloud cover, but right now it appears that shadows could be an issue as we creep along this afternoon.
See, the shadows are in the back. There's a bright backdrop, and the shadows have a little effect, but mainly it's the sun shining on the backdrop.
Comey at the line. Foul ball. Rick Reed, the veteran umpire, right there, straddling that chalk line.
Indians would have loved that out. Here it is. We'll give you a shot right down the line. Look at Rick Reed. Right on it. CC struck out the first two. If he can get Ichiro Suzuki, it'll be a pretty good feat. He only struck out 53 times, 692 at bats. He puts the bat on the ball.
Yes, he does. Bumps it along to Alomar. Nice recovery by CC Sabathia. Still a 2-1 game.
The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by Energizer. Do you have the bunny inside? And by your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
In Cleveland, the Indians 2, the Mariners 1. And CC Sabathia with a 14-pitch second inning after loading it up for 34 in the first inning. Hot shot. There's Boone. Overruled. Could not get back. And Brett Boone, who is so proud of his defense, simply threw one too wide for Olerud.
Kleiman, he hit it right on the nose. To Hopper. Boone, great, sure hands. Rushed to throw a little. He had more time. Pulled Olerud off the back. Kleiman's not a burner. He doesn't run that quickly as Boone rushed to throw. Nice stop. Plenty of time now. Maybe take a crow hop. Pat your glove once. Get you some timing.
Home run threat stepping in. This is Branyan. First at bat of the series, and very uncharacteristically, the Mariners, who had the best defense in the major leagues. They've made 2 errors here in the first 2 innings.
Only 83 errors all year long. Type hitter. Got a big swing, and they find a hole in it lots of times, but when he connects, he can launch him.
Now, they say baseball is a non-contact sport. Branyan seems to take that quite literally. 135 strikeouts. That's in only 315 at-bats.
Yeah, that is way too much. If Charlie had a hunt, he's going with it.
3-0. Tiptoed through it in the first, but it's open for more problems here in the second. 3-0 is creamed in a right. Ichiro holds it in. Everybody's swinging on 3-0 for Cleveland.
2 batters. Now, Comey would have liked to have gotten the pitch Branyan got. Comey's ball was a little bit inside and jammed it. But Branyan, he rifled this. Now, didn't get it all off the end. Ichiro very sure in the outfield. Fantastic athlete.
And he was so much fun to watch, even between batters. Doing those calisthenics after every pitch.
Here's Einar Diaz, a guy who can hurt you if you don't concentrate on it. He's one of the more quieter guys in that lineup. He's got to come up with some big hits for Charlie.
Beats it on the ground and a left. Good-sized hit right there for him. As he is now 6 of 10 lifetime against Sele, and it sets it up for Lawson, top of the order.
Here it is, fastball high up in the zone. Diaz with like a chopping wood type of swing. Perfect approach for a high ball. Got on top and found a hole. 1 out, first and second for Lawson.
Third baseman Bell's gone in, right to the cutout part of the grass.
Lofton, Vizquel, Alomar, they all can handle the bat. They'll bunt at any particular time to keep a rally going. And also is an advantage to the hitter. Third baseman's in, that gives up a lot of ground. You could slap that ball by him for a double. Let's see where Bell is.
Curve, and that's where it's headed. Left field, but Buhner's got it. Two down in the inning. It'll be left up to Vizquel. Lofton's still hitless for the series.
He hit the ball hard twice. That's a good sign. At least he's on it.
Omar Vizquel to the plate. And Hud, if you want to hear something poetic, Vizquel will tell you about his last few off seasons, trying to blot out the memory of yet another crushing playoff loss or playoff miss, as was the case last year. He's gone home each October to Venezuela and headed into the Canaima jungle, a remote wildlife park in the country's interior. You need a plane and a raft and then hiking boots to get there. And that's where Vizquel is headed off alone to ponder what went wrong for the Indians. To right. 1-1 in. And they're waving home another. Safe. Vizquel to third. And perhaps the raft trip will be postponed this October.
But maybe Vizquel was dreaming about that hanging curve that he got from Sele as he lobbed it down the right field line. Ichiro hit the cutoff man this time. Boone loaded up with his throw, and it got a little bit ahead of Dan Wilson. Nice slide by Diaz. He's able to get in there. Look at Ichiro. Uses his feet to get some momentum behind the throw. Boone. Ball just sailed away from Wilson.
That should be another error on Boone, another throwing error in the inning to allow Vizquel to move on to third. But at the very least, it's the second hit of the game for Vizquel. You talked about it right at the top, Hud. He has owned Aaron Sele during the last several regular seasons. And the top of the order has indeed ignited things this afternoon.
He'll sit well with those runs. Bring it right back out. Pinella starting to pace a little bit, knowing this game 3 is a huge game.
By the way, they're going to score that a triple all the way. No double and an error, just a triple for Vizquel. And now Alomar to the plate, 2 down. We talk about how personally Vizquel has taken the Indians' failures. They have been close. Never closer than in 97. They were within an out of winning the World Series.
Good skill trying to rattle Sele on the third base line as a runner. David Bell's in and off the base. That gives Vizquel a little room, and he's playing some head games with Sele. Trying to bait him like he's going to steal home. Bell has to be careful. Alomar, he'll drop one down. He almost did there. And that's why Bell is in on the grass. And that's the advantage Charlie Manuel has. His first three hitters all can handle that bat.
Paul Abbott, there was a possibility to start Game 4. That's the second time he's been up here in Game 3.
He's Pinella's long man. Each manager likes to have a guy that can pick up, go 4, 5, 6 innings if the starter doesn't make it early in the game.
Pounded into center. Cameron moving back. He makes the catch. The Tribe tacking on 2. Fox Sports, home of the playoffs and World Series, returns after these messages. In Cleveland, where the series is tied at 1, but look at in the Game 3, the underdog Indians leading 4-1, and they've got their 21-year-old CC Sabathia, well, at least for now, having settled into a nice groove. Rex Sudler. Sabathia walked in a run in the top of the first, but since then it's been 5 up, 5 down, not a ball hit out of the infield. Aaron Sele pondering what's been going wrong for him today.
He'll get the over curveball. This is the second time through the order now for CC. The Mariners' second time to see it. Cameron laced the double off the wall. First at bat. Diaz wants it down.
And it's Squibber. Sabathia, wow, that might have been the best fastball of the day. And Tomey a little double take.
He reared back and fired. You got to be on your toes. He's a little too hopper. He's got time. He lets it go. Tomey is able to stay on. Got up underneath that ball a little bit.
And then Tomey after the fact with one of those, whoa, easy big fellas. How big is big? 6'7", 272 pounds. CC Sabathia recruited, as you would imagine, by many football schools. A tight end prospect.
The big guy, I'll tell you, it brings back memories of John Candelaria, the Candyman. Big left-hander, hard fastball. Also a little bit of Sid Fernandez, El Cid, who threw up underneath the baseball, similar to Sabathia.
And the simple question, Hud, regarding the Indians this year, where would they be without CC Sabathia?
They wouldn't be here, and Charlie Manuel, he'll tell you that.
Oh, he thought he had it on the outside corner.
The old backdoor curveball, that's what they call it in the business. Pitch that comes in from the outside corner and catches that corner. Diaz setting up, low and away. There it was, he thought he got it. Then again, whenever you're behind 1-2 or 0-2, it's always tough. Now it's 2-2. CC goes right for the juggler. He's ahead of you and strikes. He's been doing that with his changeup, curveball, and his fastball. Keeps the hitter guessing.
There was a concern, Hud. Until this year, CC Sabathia had never pitched even 150 innings. Already this year, he's at 180. And the other concern, yeah, he had yet to face Seattle, but against a team similar to Seattle. Patient veteran hitting teams like Oakland and New York. Well, he had an ERA of 14 against those guys. He's been awesome today.
Second time he's retired Boone with a strikeout. Boone doing the best he can and shorten up his swing here. As he checked one foul earlier, and now he just is trying to get a piece of that. Enough out of the strike zone is a really good pitch.
Edgar Martinez was pitched around in the first inning, when the adrenaline seemed to be getting the best of Sabathia. DC went in to walk in a run. Olerud patiently waiting through an 8-pitch at bat, and that forced in Ichiro to make it 1-0.
There's strike one. Whenever he gets strike one in there, it's trouble. Confidence.
He is retired 8 in a row. These fans are loud here at Jacobs Field. Their team leading 4-1. He was busy bringing it back.
Bonds at the wall. He leaps. He caught it! And it looked like he took it away from about 10 fans.
Pick up the specially marked Mach 3-pack with the free limited edition watch. Look inside for your game piece and tune in to Game 3 of the World Series on Fox to see if you've won a trip to a game of the 2002 World Series.
The Washington Post calls under. Well, the Aaron Sele experience is over. 2 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned. And that'll do it. Paul Abbott, nice to have a 17-game winner coming out of your bullpen.
Absolutely. Lou Piniella had options with Abbott. He could have used him in Game 4 or Game 5, but he says, I'm going to use him right now. He's got a good fastball, curveball, slider, change, all 4 pitches. His curve is a good one. He can get the ball up there around 92, although he's not overpowered.
Yeah, just like the Abbott from Abbott and Costello was a straight man, so is this Abbott. Nothing fancy, nothing overpowering, but a lot of savvy, and that seemed to be in short supply from Aaron Sele today. He was rattled in that first inning, again in the second. The errors behind him certainly did not help. Gonzalez punching one to left. First pitch, gone.
Gonzalez tough is when he gets his arms extended, he can launch with anybody. Here it was, fastball right over the plate. Quick hands, gets fully extended, and that ball was on the line.
The 7th career postseason homer for Juan Gonzalez. He had a massive division series against the Yankees 6 years ago. Hit 5 home runs in that series alone. And does he love this ballpark? Change up to Tomey. Remember, Juan Gonzalez said no to an incredible offer from Detroit. He said yes to a much lesser offer to play here. His swing tailor-made for Jacobs Field.
You asked me where would the Indians be without CC. Well, they wouldn't be where they are without Juan Gonzalez.
Bouncing back from a brutal year last year. He had 15 fewer RBI than Davey Cruz last season. This year, he was just 1 off the league lead. Juan Gonzalez had 140. The man playing second base for Seattle right now had 141, Red Boone.
Gonzalez consistent with the batting average as well all year long.
Good pitch right there. The changeup to Tomey for the first out. 5-1 here, and for a game break, here's Jeannie Zelasco in L.A.
Well, Josh, with his Cardinals facing elimination, Fernando Vina single-handedly taking care of business. He singled, stole second, Stackmont got him to third, and here, J.D. Drew's hit drove him home, tying the ball game 1 apiece, bottom 2, Josh.
Jeannie, thanks. We'll be following that one, the rain-delayed Game 4 of that series. Glad to see it's underway. Ellis Burks ahead in the count. And Rex, we talked a little bit about the relationship between Burks and his young Cleveland starter today, CC Sabathia. We talked about a guy taking another under his wing. Burks very willingly doing that for CC Sabathia, just the way that a lot of the veterans did for Burks when he came in with Boston. Guys like Jim Rice, Oil Can Boyd.
That's right, and that's important. When general managers go out after the season's over and they start filling up their rosters, they look at the intangibles each player can bring to their team. Sure, they look at the numbers, but what's almost as important is their demeanor, how they carry themselves, how good they are in the clubhouse. Are they going to be able to rub off on some of the other players? Burks has done that. Dusty Baker, he loved him in San Francisco. Burks loved it there as well, but his knees were giving him a hard time, and you have to play. There's no DH in the National League, so he came over to the Indians.
Line drive foul, might have broken his bat too. 3-2 the count. No, CC Sabathia was an only child growing up. He had kind of a surrogate big brother, his cousin Demetrius Davis, the NFL tight end. And we mentioned CC was recruited by UCLA to play tight end as well. So maybe the surrogate big brother here has been the man at the plate, Ellis Burks.
Absolutely. It's so important to have veteran leaders working the minds of the young ones.
Roped into left center. Big brother picking up a 6'7" little brother. Now coming up tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here on Fox, a must-win game for the Yankees. They'll take on Jason Giambi and an A's team looking to complete the sweep. Battle of 17 game winners. Mike Mussina against Barry Zito. The road to the World Series continuing tonight on Fox, starting at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And Zito with that terrific curveball. It's got to be on. A little bit better than Aaron Sele's was today.
Zito gave the Yankees fits in the 5th game last year. Moose Mussina, he finished the season strong, pitching very well. Zito, like you mentioned, has that very nice curveball, and he's got some good fastball there to set it up. Good composure for a young pitcher.
There's the curve to Fryman, fouled off. If you want to check out an outstanding knuckle curve, Mike Mussina may be the best one of those in the league.
Can't count the world champions out. Mussina has pitched well, like I said. He is a good guy for the Yankees to have going for him this evening.
You'll see it tonight on Fox. Jamie Moyer, one-time teammate of Mike Mussina's, pitched a wonderful game, Game 2 for Seattle.
Fryman loves the fastball. He likes it middle in. Here he'll look. Abbott knows. Change-up's coming.
Yep, bounced it up there.
0-2, that's where you want to throw it. You want to give it anything close. Manel looks like he's stirring a little bit there, talking to his pitching coach, Brian Price.
Aaron Sele started the year 8-0. Took a 15-5 regular season record into the start today. He did not get into the 3rd inning. One-two to Fryman. No, Travis Fryman, very admirably, I think, refusing to use his bum elbow and bad shoulder as an excuse. He's only got 3 home runs all year. Missed 9 weeks to start the season. Went his first 160-odd at-bats this year without a home run.
In his absence, they used Russell Branyan. He's a good-looking third baseman, but really he's unproven playoff time. They needed Travis Fryman to get healthy and get back in shape. Be here to help him win.
Melted to left. Fair or foul? It is a foul ball. The crew chief, Dana Demuth, had to crane his neck to see exactly where it ended up.
That's why that big foul pole stands so tall up there. Help the umpires determine whether it's fair or foul. Foul pole, fair pole, whatever you want to call it. Big pole. That's right. He's the pitching coach for the Indians.
And he's done a great job with CC Sabathia. Sabathia and the Indians leading 5-1. The changeup, 2 down.
Nice pitch by Abbott. Like I said, he's got good command of all of his pitches. He relies on keeping the hitters off balance. There it was. Started up. It looked like it was a hittable pitch. But with 2 strikes, the hitter protected. He swung over.
Here's another guy that's been known to swing and not quite make any contact. The human air conditioning unit. So when Brandon gets a hold of one, wow. He hit one 440 feet earlier this year. Broke his bat. Boone bending away, couldn't get to it. Boy, he looked like a wide receiver trying to chase down a fly pattern. And the bat was in hot pursuit of Boone.
Sure was. Boone outran the barrel of the bat as it was chasing it. Abbott tied him up. Dan Wilson wanted it in. Got up a little bit. Like Brandon jammed himself. Boone just couldn't make the play. Well placed. In baseball, it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. 2 outs. First running on the play.
And it brings up a guy with a terrific double stroke, kind of like Pudge Rodriguez in Texas. Einar Diaz.
34 doubles in the regular season.
No catcher in the majors had any more than that. And you talked, I believe it was in Game 1, Hud, about how the pitchers are starting to rave about his game calling. That was something that we weren't quite sure about heading into this year.
John Hartless lost Sandy Alomar.
Little pop-up. That'll scooch back out of play.
Sandy had been a mainstay here with the pitching staff and Cleveland Indians, and they were able to let him go because of the progress of Diaz. He's a real sweetheart of a guy. Off the field, he smiles more than anyone I've ever seen. Very pleasant, happy, loves the game of baseball. Comes in smiling and goes away smiling regardless of the outcome. Overall, happy to be here. That's a good attitude to have. Willing to learn.
42,000 fans extremely happy right now with how it's going. Seattle had a 1-0 lead. And remember, 88-9 is their record this year when scoring first. But it's like the Indians just shrugged their shoulders and said, yeah, and in the left to make this.
Like Charlie Emanuel said, Einar Diaz has come up with some huge hits all year long, and just mark it down for another one. 2-out hit. That'll set you back. 2-out rally. Here it is. Wilson setting up inside, drifted back over the middle. Diaz with a short, quick swing. Helping one to left field.
The Indians 2-5 against the juggernaut Mariners during the regular season, looking to go 2-1 when it matters in this best-of-5 series. And isn't it interesting? Aaron Sele was the starting pitcher today for Seattle. And he was the man that was victimized by the comeback for the ages back on August 5th, that game that saw a 12-run deficit made up. Now it's twists around, and it's going to have to be the other way. Sele's going to have to be the beneficiary of a Seattle big-time rally today.
Can't count out Seattle. It's early in the ballgame. The Tribe is just continuing to put pressure on the pitching staff. Seattle Mariners.
2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and a 6-1 lead at home. All the things Seattle ruled the roost in all during the regular season, they have not shown up in Cleveland yet. Best batting average. Nope, 2 hits today so far. Best fielding percentage. No, 2 errors. Best ERA. That has certainly not been here. The Indians with 6 runs on 9 hits and Lofton up 3-0.
Like I've said before, you can throw out whatever you did in the regular season. When it's postseason time, it's a totally different dance. And those who have been invited to the dance before and know the steps are the ones who have an advantage.
Lofton has been a veritable Michael Flatley dance.
That's right.
Some awesome postseason numbers. Can't believe that's the best I could come up with dance-wise.
That's all right.
Not dancing, but walking to load him up. And I am told, incredibly, our second Michael Flatley reference in our postseason coverage on Fox. Joe Buck beat us to it the other night.
That's all right. They are stepping. No matter their step, it is the big dance. Well, it's not the biggest dance. The World Series is the biggest dance. Diaz keeping the 2-out rally alive with a single, and now a walk to Lofton.
Vizquel way out in front, almost corkscrewed himself right into the ground.
A good example of a hitter looking for the fastball, looking dead red here, all the way. Haven't sailed that changeup underneath his bat, spun him like a top.
Abbott gets ahead of Vizquel 0-2. Already Vizquel a pair of hits today. We had talked about the Indians' failures atop the order in the first 2 games of the series. But Vizquel 2 hits. Alomar has an RBI double.
0-2. Listen, with a minute on here, you got to be real defensive. You got anything close, you don't want to be caught looking. Real test of the concentration of the batter. With a big home run hitter up and a big swinging guy, you know, you might like your chances more than a guy like Vizquel who can just poke and run. He's a little slap hitter, hits the ball to all fields. But he also can play big man when he wants to. He's got 4 grand slams in his career with the bases loaded.
Dirt, the Indians fans lacing up those dancing shoes that Rex Sudler mentioned. They are ready to go bananas if Vizquel can extend the lead here in the 3rd inning.
McLemore and Boone both up the middle, playing straight away, giving Diaz a lot of room for a secondary lead at second. You can see him getting off. Good throwing arms all around the outfield with Seattle. Buhner, Cameron, Ichiro.
McLemore scoops it. Keep those dancing shoes on. The Cleveland fans have their team up 7-1.
Dangerous 2-strike hitter. There he goes. Bell just couldn't glove it. Got underneath it. McLemore had no play anywhere. Best thing to do is to put it in your pocket just like he did. 2-out rally continues.
Bases full for Alomar. Gonzalez, who started the inning with a homer, is on deck. Abbott
going with anything he can to keep it out of the middle of the plate. curveballs, changeups, occasional fastballs, but the hitter, he makes a living on a half-inch mistake.
Well, Seattle's got to be wondering, where is that rain that was in the forecast? Blue skies above. And that's the metaphor for Cleveland, too. Up 7-1 and looking to tack on more.
What two-out rallies do, Josh, is they really break the back of the opponent. Get so close. I mean, look at the Mariners and the Indians there. Runners in scoring position. Indians on the attack.
Swung on 3-0, but guys, chill it. 7-1.
Pretty good idea for Alomar. Take a strike, make him come back in there again. He's still in a good hitting count. Third inning here with the two-out rally continues. They have just hit around. We'll be back up to Gonzalez, who started with a solo home run. 4-run third.
3 of those 4 with 2 outs. You're right. Olama now getting loose quickly for Seattle. And what an ovation for Gonzalez as he steps up for the second time in the inning.
Seattle has comeback potential, but I don't know. If they continue to let runs get in here, it might get out of reach. Abbott challenged Gonzalez to the fastball, outside corner. What makes Gonzalez such a good RBI man is he's able to widen that strike zone, the plate a little bit. Doesn't have to be right down the middle. He sees runners in score position. He can do all he can to get them in. He's what you call a bad ball hitter. Von Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, similar hitters.
Gilly struggled mightily in the first 2 innings. Abbott no better here in the third.
Abbott in a real tough spot. Having to nibble the plate. Doesn't want to get too much of it. Power hitter like Gonzalez up, he can clean the sacks in a heartbeat.
But there's Buhner. A 4-run inning. Gonzalez a homer. Everybody chipping in. 8-1 Cleveland.
With the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
The Seattle Mariners finished 70 games over 500 during the regular season. Do not adjust your... The Indians are leading today 8-1. And Margie Sabathia, mother of Cece Sabathia, maybe can relax a little now. 8-1 lead.
Hopefully she won't go back to smoking.
Well, the only smoking today has been off the bat of the home team. 10 hits off 2 different pitchers. A 15-game winner and a 17-game winner. Smoke them if you got them. And now the Mariners have to start their way along the comeback trail that the Indians navigated back on August 5th right here. the memorable rally from down 12. Sabathia's not going to make it easy, though, is he? They've set down 8 straight since walking in a run.
Here he's got another hitter down in the count, 1 and 2. Doesn't look good.
Olerud still has not hit a ball out of the infield in this series. Time for a game break. Let's go to Jeannie in L.A.
Hey, Josh, a return to St. Louis has ignited the bat of one Jim Edmonds, a home run in Friday's loss, and now this solo shot, bottom 2, puts St. Louis out in front, and that's where we sit. 2-1 Cards, bottom 3, Josh.
Jeannie, thanks. Bud Smith needing to step up large today, just like the 21-year-old rookie has done here for Cleveland. How about that? We got 21-year-old rookies going in both those games currently on our air over on Fox Family. You've got Bud Smith needing to pitch the game of his life, and right here, P.C. Sabathia, same story. The early returns were not good for Sabathia today. He had walked in a run, but then facing Buhner, things began to come together. He got Buhner on a foul out in the first inning, gets him on a ground out here.
Well, whenever you hit the ball on the ground, your fielders behind you like CeCe has, you got to feel confident. Vizquel, Alomar, Fryman, Thome, solid guys. Just turn on the vacuum. It's nearly an automatic out. Double play combination in Alomar Vizquel. Never been seen before in the game. 2 guys that are so creative that can make the plays.
Acrobatic when they have to be. Sometimes even when they don't have to be, just to mix it up a little.
That's right. I think Vizquel took the baton from Ozzie Smith. Ozzie Smith developed this acrobatic style. Consistent play at shortstop that dazzles the crowd.
55 postseason games for Vizquel. Only 1 error committed. Now remember, he used to be a Seattle Mariner. Never did get to the playoffs with them, but he's played 55 playoff games for the Cleveland Indians.
Prime is 1 error in 17 games at third base. CeCe just rearing back. That's what happens when you have a 7-run lead. You just go ahead and relax and put the pressure on the hitters.
Wilson getting into one. He sends it deep in a left at the wall. It will bang off the wall. And Wilson going to roll into second base. Sabathia had retired 10 in a row, but now the 2-out double by Wilson.
One thing a hitter knows is coming too when you're down that many runs is a fastball. Branyan tried effortlessly to get up there. There's no way he could have reached that, but Lawson was backing him up. Big, tall wall out there. You test the judgment of the outfielders whenever a ball's hit over your head here.
There's the reigning Spider-Man, a guy that can crawl the wall and bring him back. Maybe not that wall in left, but Lofton has made some incredible wall crawling catches at this ballpark in center. Only the 5th career postseason hit period for Dan Wilson. All the 2-out lightnings from the Indians in the bottom of the 3rd. Let's see what the Mariners have now on the top of the 4th. Might not be a bad idea to keep it away from the guy in center. We talked about Kenny Lofton's ability to make the highlights. Spider-Man. Take it, Rick.
Whatever a spider can. Catch the ball anywhere.
I thought you were going to go with climb the wall.
Well, he can climb the wall. See if he just showed him. But right now, David Bell, he's going to do his best to try to get that run home. Scoring position in Dan Wilson, second base.
Little loop shot right field. It is dropping down. Wilson to the plate. Diaz with a tag. My goodness. They finally got a hit with a runner in scoring position. And they didn't score the run.
Gonzalez, he can fire. One hop, perfect strike. Dan Wilson, he just wasn't big on his secondary lead. He should have been out here getting a little bit more if he could on the pitch. You can see he had 2 crow hops, and here he starts. Dave Myers, the third base coach, stop it right there. Third base coach right down here is waving him. He's waving him, and he is it. Dan Wilson got to third base right as Gonzalez got the ball. Probably shouldn't have sent him. Dave Myers was waving him when the ball was struck.
That ball is struck. Tim Tomey and Buhner sliding after it to hold Tomey to a scrambling first pitch single. But you're right, Hud. The lack of the secondary lead really costing Seattle there.
Well, that's the third base coach's responsibility. Here's a curveball, get me over curve. Tomey waited on it and bumped it to left field. Jay Buhner kept him from getting to second base with this excellent sliding stop. Nice play.
One of few things the Mariners have executed well this afternoon. A team that all year, Hud, didn't so much destroy people. They beat them down with the little things, whether it be a secondary lead, whether it be playing error-free baseball in the field, hitting with runners in scoring position. Now Burks to McLemore for the out. But all those little things have been in very short supply in this series so far. Now tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday begins with America's #1 pregame show. It's JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris getting you set. Then that dominating Giants defense trying to stop Marshall Faulk and the high-octane Rams offense. Or other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Cleveland and Seattle, these two cities have already played an NFL game against each other this year. They didn't feature a single touchdown. They are making up for the lack of scoring today. The two cities playing game 3 of the ALDS. Now the Indians have outscored the Browns.
Yeah,
the final in that game was 9-6.
They are finding a way.
You know, and Travis Fryman trying to find a way to summarize how it's been for Cleveland, because we've heard about the Mariners ad nauseum this year. Travis Fryman, I thought, said something interesting, Hud. He said, we are a high-profile team. We just didn't have a very high-profile season.
There's a lot of truth to that.
So deep in the shadow, not just of the Mariners, but the feel-good Cinderella story, the Minnesota Twins, all during that first half.
That's right. Lurking in the bushes is the Cleveland Indians. Confident team. And with veteran players that can get it done this time of year.
And the one rookie that they had to bank on today is CC Sabathia, the starting pitcher. And he really stumbled out of the gate. But man, he has found his stride. Fryman shooting one into the air in center. Cameron brings it down.
Abbott mixing them up, keeping them off balance here this inning. It's back up to Brandon. You notice the players changed their wardrobe style over the years. I mean, Brandon is a good example. Look at how baggy his pants are. And heck, you almost need to roll up the bottom of his pants so he won't trip over.
Looks like pajamas.
sleep comfortably in them.
Needs a little seaties on the bottom, though, you know, with a little...
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how the styles have changed. There's Jim Thome. He's got the socks up, and they're rolled.
He's always had them pulled up like lederhosen.
Ted Uhlaender, there he is. That's the old style. There's Ted, old school guy, hard worker, first base coach. He's got them rolled up and a lot of red showing. The old classic stirrups that you hardly ever see anymore.
Ted Uhlaender was a teammate of Charlie Manuel's in Minnesota in the 70s, playing under Billy Martin. One of the first Minnesota Twin holdouts, Hud. He wanted $14,000 a year. Brandon down on strikes. Not a lot is going poorly for Cleveland. They lead 8-1. Fox Sports returns after these messages from your local Fox station. One here in Game 3, and it's interesting. Rex, we were in talking with Charlie Manuel before the game. He's got a framed quote hanging above his desk. It was uttered by Christy Mathewson years ago. And the quote in question, you can learn little from victory, everything from defeat. And we are 4 innings away from asking Lou Piniella if he's ever heard that quote. The Mariners would be down 2-1, Game 4 in Cleveland tomorrow. The Mariners trying to fight back in it. And again, this is the ballpark at which Cleveland rallied on Seattle from down 12. Freddie Garcia will get the call for Seattle tomorrow. We know that now because Paul Abbott, who was the other option, has already been pitching today in relief.
Anything can happen in the grand game. A lot of predictions are made. On paper, everybody can go out and make their own, but you know what? Until the game's actually played out, you can't determine.
And CC Sabathia, the early prediction on him would have been, boy, this is just not going to go well today. He had walked in a run, the bases were loaded, 1 out first inning. Veteran hitters coming up, Buhner and Wilson. And already down 1-0, having just walked 2 in a row. He got a pair of foul outs. He's been on cruise control ever since. Outside, 3-2.
That was the key. He was able to work his way out of that first inning. And then with that, he worked out his jitters. First time in postseason for this young 21-year-old phenomenal left-hander. John Hart made a gamble. Take him with him opening day.
Line shot right to short, 1 out.
McLemore knew the fastball was coming, got his hands extended, and he scalded that ball. You can't control it lots of times when it leaves your bat. You don't know where it's going.
8 gold gloves, and he is actually 1-upped by the guy standing next to him. Alomar's got 9. Lefty to lefty, although 2 differently built lefties. Sabathia, 272 pounds. Ichiro is not 272.
No, but he plays like it.
If he hit his weight, he would have to weigh 350. Lofton makes the catch. And Ichiro, a tough guy to get to know from all accounts. But, Rex, I know you got a chance to at least hear from him earlier this year.
Yes, absolutely. I had a brain hemorrhage early in April. And Ichiro sat down with an interpreter and composed this letter. Very encouraging letter that he wrote to me. And he started with Rex Hudler's song. And that's proper because I'm older. That's the language they use. So very encouraging. I was able to be on a championship team in Japan. We won the Japan World Series in '93. He said that he wanted to do the same thing over here. He admired my courage of going over there and battling, and that's what he wants to do. But that showed me a lot about his heart, though, Josh. Just the fact that he would take time to do that to encourage somebody he'd never met before. He was just a rookie in the other league in '93.
You going to put that letter up on eBay?
Absolutely not. That is my letter. I'm going to keep it, put it in a frame, and that just tells you about his heart. He cares. He's a caring individual. He really did a lot to to make me well. And along those lines, I'd like to congratulate Bobby Cox for becoming the winningest all-time manager in postseason, and the Braves for going on. And Bobby Cox is his sister. Our prayers and thoughts are with her and them as she's trying to recover from a brain hemorrhage, similar to what I had. If I can encourage you, just hang in there and continue to listen to your doctors and feel the love from the people and the prayers of the people, you too can be well.
Cameron takes a stroll, 2-out walk. But with Ichiro, and we've talked about this throughout the series, he is so mysterious. And because he is being chased literally 24/7 by the paparazzi, the Japanese media, when he really has tried to distance himself and keep a certain coolness about him. But those that are fortunate enough to get in the know all say the same thing. The guy's got a heart a mile wide.
He is an international star. Oh.
Yeah, his popularity back in Japan, there was an identification survey last year that produced the following data. Frankly, I don't care either way. The second most identifiable person in the country was the Japanese emperor. He trailed Ichiro.
Wow. Not surprised.
They say, we are told to picture not so much a Michael Jordan type fascination in Japan, but Elvis. You know, this game started at 4 a.m. local time in Japan, Hud, and a lot of folks are watching. 4 a.m. Set the alarm. Ichiro's on.
He deserves everything he's getting. 7-time batting champion over there, and now he can add one in his rookie season here in the U.S. Along with the big heart. Appreciate the well wishes he did for me. Really helped me out, and here's what he's done. First in average, first in hits, first in steals, second in runs.
Boone just zapped one into the crowd. Boone would be your other Seattle Mariner contender for league MVP. You've got plenty of contenders on this Cleveland team, too. Whether it be Alomar, Gonzalez, or Thome, or Jason Giambi should be heard from on the Oakland side. Off speed, 2-2. And were it not for Ichiro, this might be your rookie of the year, CC Sabathia.
Oh, without a doubt. David Eckstein had a good year out there in Anaheim at shortstop.
Brought to you by Nissan. Nissan introduces the totally new V6 Ultima, the cure for the common car. Like KFC, there's fast food, then there's KFC. And by Star Wars Episode 1 on DVD October 16th.
If there is a movie made of CC Sabathia's life, you wouldn't be surprised. At some point soon, CC Sabathia is going to be a nationally known name. Certainly here in Cleveland. They've appreciated this all season long. He turned 21 years old this summer. He is shutting down Seattle today. I mean, shutting them down airtight. Brett Boone, an MVP candidate. He has struck him out 3 times.
The fact the Mariners have never faced CC, that's to his advantage. First inning had some trouble, but worked out of it. The rest so far is history. It's just the 5th inning, though. Seattle could mount some type of comeback. You know, Paul Abbott will have to shut him down. It's Einar Diaz, who's not easy.
We referenced it back in the first inning when Sabathia was struggling. The Indians in the 97 ALCS started a 21-year-old against the Yankees. Jared Wright struggled big time in the first inning and then was awesome for the next 5. He pitched no-hit, shutout baseball, and Cleveland rallied to win, not just the game, but the series. 4 years later, another 21-year-old pitcher out there. It's not Wright, it's Sabathia. Diaz sweeping one on the ground to short. McLemore up with it. And the Sabathia show playing to rave reviews here in Cleveland. We take a look at our MasterCard fan cam. National anthem extremely well done before the game, by the way.
Absolutely. Short sleeves. Look at the weather here. Cleveland has never seen a playoff game of people in short sleeves.
That's true. Remember the World Series in '97. This is the weather they had down in Miami. 77 and balmy when we got started today. Kenny Lofton is ahead in the count 1-0. Remember that? They were all decked out in parkas for the games in Cleveland that year. Lofton gets into one. Deep into right center field. It is gone!
Lofton hit the ball hard his first 2 times up, but nothing to show for it. Checks in with his 4th career postseason home run.
And his first hit of the whole series. Strike one to Vizquel.
Wilson setting up a way, but it wasn't located properly. He missed with it down and in, and lots of times that's where a left-handed hitter, that's his nitro zone, that's the power spot. Kenny just threw his hands down on that ball, down and in. That's what they do.
Changeup missing, 2-1 to Vizquel.
Abbott not happy with that ball. He wanted it.
Now Vizquel curling one towards Cameron in center. Should be the second out of the inning. And it is. Now Kenny Lofton offensively was knee-deep in quicksand right through the end of July. But putting it simply, when Lofton plays well, the Indians are usually okay. And usually when the Indians play big games, that's when Lofton plays well. Well, the Indians traded for that prospect, Milton Bradley, right at the end of July. You make the call as to whether or not it's a coincidence, but the season for Kenny Lofton really got kick-started after the arrival of Kenny Lofton Part 2, Milton Bradley.
Oh, sure. That'll motivate you. As all veteran players, when they reach a certain point in their career, they're looking back in AAA and seeing what's out there and who's the next guy. Milton Bradley's high potential. Speedy guy, covers a lot of ground just like Kenny did when he was a youngster. Kenny's had a fine career, and like you said, most of it has been with the Cleveland Indians. Took a year with the Atlanta Braves, came right back.
This is pre and post Milton Bradley. It was all set for a career of really lame puns. Milton Bradley. He's a gamer. They've got a monopoly on outfielders.
I knew that was coming.
We just thought we'd get him in early. That's ball 4 to Alomar. Alomar's been on 3 times today. And you hear all these stories about the kinder, gentler Lou Piniella. This is the ballpark in which he last publicly snapped. Remember, he shot-footed second base in a shallow center.
Lou's a much more mature manager. He's been through it all. Now he sits back. He finally has the team that he's always dreamed of having. Always had an offensive team. Now he's got pitching to go with it.
Big hit Gonzalez towards the left field corner. Alomar already to third. He will be held. No, he's going right through. And he's tagged out. They said he never did rush the plate. Joel Skinner, the third base coach, was trying to stop him. Alomar kept on going, trying to get the Tribe to double digits.
Buhner fixed it clean, slipped a little bit, but still got off a great relay throw. McLemore got him.
Robbie Alomar trying to make it 10-1.
Well, look at here, Joel Skinner putting up the stop sign, says stop, stop, stop. And Alomar, he made this on his own. He looked back, made a peek, and here he just couldn't get the plate. He overslid. Paul Schreiber, right on the call, made the correct call. Here it is right here. Look at see Schreiber's looking right at it. So you can see just a little space there between Alomar's hand and the home plate. Totally Robbie Alomar.
Martinez and Alomar from his knees. Boy, he's really taking that into the field with him, isn't he?
He says, all right, I made that mistake on my own, but still 8 runs down. That wasn't a bad move. He thought he could make it. But watch this. He puts that Gold Glove in action. Leaves his feet. Edgar Martinez, not swift of foot, but still a tough play. He gets down the line pretty well. He's out.
And remarkable, too, to feel the love from these fans to Roberto Alomar. Because several years ago, Alomar was very much a villain in these parts. That following the spitting on the umpire situation right at the end of the 1995 season. Alomar, then with the Orioles, came here to Cleveland as the O's and the Indians went at it in the playoffs, and Alomar had a huge series. Had a game-winning home run, a series-clinching home run, and the fans were all over Roberto Alomar that entire time. They were just chanting his name moments ago.
Alomar wanted to come over here and be teammates with his brother Sandy. And that eventually worked out. It started to be a dream, and it came true.
Inside to Olerud, 3-1. And isn't it something, too, Rex, that this Cleveland team, which has always done it by pounding the other guy into submission, the long home runs. And we just heard the fans appreciate the defense with the team already having slugged out 9 runs. Cue ball over to short. It's Sele. A leap and a pick by Thome. What a day for Cleveland. What a time for a game break. Let's go to Ginny Velasco in L.A.
Exactly what I was thinking, Josh. Fernando Vina already gave it the office with a single and a run scored. Of course, this is the postseason demanding overtime. How about this contribution? A 2-run home run, pushing for a Game 5 Sunday at Arizona. The Cards are out in front, top 5, Josh.
Ginny, thank you very much. Fernando Vina, little middle infielder coming up big. And the little middle infielders have been just fine here in Cleveland, too.
They got a pair here for you. Tough, hard-charging backhand play. Thome with the help with a pick.
All right, now Buhner has got to test out Travis Kleiman at third to complete the trifecta.
Or he could try to go to Thome, but really what ball players call that? That's stupid hit. Well, you got to find somewhere else to hit it.
Stupid is as stupid does. And everybody does it here for Cleveland.
Yeah, and you can't help it when you're a hitter. You don't know where the ball is going to go off of your bat lots of times, but long season, 162 games, their own language they use in the dugout. That's one of the terminologies. Of course, you're sitting with one of them. I've made my career mostly 9 on the pine. I rode, but I loved it.
13-year Major League veteran Rex Hudler. There's the strike, 3-1. CC Sabathia, a 4-hitter.
CC's over 100 pitches now, and he's starting to fall behind some of the hitters.
Now the walk to Buhner. 5 strikeouts along the way, but again, if you're CC Sabathia, you're comfortable with letting the other guy put it in play. Let Vizquel and Alomar do their thing. 17 Gold Gloves between them.
Oh, that's an Ozzie Smith play.
Now, of course, all you heard a couple summers ago was how chicks dig the long ball. Gotta think they'd at least appreciate that, though, too.
Oh, Picasso. Around the middle of the diamond. Artist at work.
Wilson, hard to foul, back into the right. Sele Sabathia, of those 4 hits allowed, 2 were to begin the ball game. It was second and third, nobody out. And it looked like the Mariners were ready to race away here today. Hasn't happened.
You'll watch Sele. He'll take a deep breath every once in a while and exhale. Hitters will do the same thing. That's so important. You're breathing. It relaxes the muscles. Helps relax your body in a tense situation.
Vizquel and Alomar. The 2 of them had a hand in it here in the 6th inning. All kinds of hitting for Cleveland today. They look to take a 2-1 series lead. The Indians leading the Mariners 9-1 into the bottom of the 6th with all the hitting. It would be easy to overlook Sele Sabathia. We choose not to. Again, back in 1997, the Indians started a 21-year-old. That was Jared Wright. And it was a rocky first inning. But then 5 near perfect innings after that. And some pretty enjoyable deja vu for Cleveland fans today. Comey, good night.
Very long. He'll get his hands extended and send them out, just like he did there. 3rd home run by the Cleveland Indians this afternoon.
And the second one on the first pitch of an inning from Abbott.
Ball was already elevated on a tee.
Ellis Burke took a shave inside.
Comey just got the back underside, spin it in flight.
1 home run shy of 50 for the regular season. Technically, there's the big 5-0. It is 10-1 Cleveland. Comey in some rarefied air, too, in terms of guys that have hit that many postseason home runs. He's got the 2nd most all time. Burke fouling one back, 2-1. Remember, Juan Gonzalez opened the 3rd inning with a first pitch home run. Comey does it here in the 6th.
Many, including myself, thought we were going to have a pretty good ball game after that first inning. It became all Cleveland. Clarence Jones next to Jim Comey.
Good day to be the hitting coach. Take credit for 10 runs on 14 hits. There's the damage off Abbott. Clarence Jones, whose son appeared on an episode of Ally McBeal. Promote. He is by the associative property of Fox guy, Clarence Jones. Travis Bryman coming up.
All right, let's check out the big man. He gets all of his power from down here. He just uses his hands. He gets his lower body in position. Stop it right there. Look at this. It's beautiful balance. You can draw straight through it. Look at his eyes and hand position all the way out. He launched it.
Jim Thome began the year hitting a .182. But told reporters at the time, his dad always told him, it's not how you start, but how you finish. And you can chalk one up to Charles Thome Sr. of Limestone, Illinois. Career postseason homers now for Jim Thome. Mickey Mantle and Reggie Jackson have 18. Next is that guy. Down the line, foul. Oh. Now remember, Thome's slow start in 2001, dovetailed with a slow finish from the year before. From August 2000 through April 2001, Jim Thome spent 8 months hearing whispers that he had maxed out and was now on a downward arc.
Not that man.
3-1 to Fryman.
You know, in Major League Baseball, it's a marathon season. And it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish. That man right there, Charlie Manuel, has been in his corner, Jim Thome, all the way. That's what good managers will do. They'll be patient with their offense.
Fryman works the walk. Yeah, 9 years ago, the Indians were ready to give up on Jim Thome. Manuel interceded on his behalf. Manuel, a minor league manager, and at the Indians organizational meetings, Manuel said, I promise he's going to hit 40 home runs, driving 100 someday. And he was right. Lou Piniella, the Sele, Campbell out to the mound. As the route is on here in Cleveland. Sele couldn't shut down the Indians. Abbott couldn't either. 10-1.
The Home Depot is dry.
9 weeks ago, Lou Piniella saw his team here in Cleveland lose a 12-run lead. He's got to hope to make up 9 in this one. 10-1 Cleveland in a pitching change. John Halama will inherit a couple of Indian runners. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th and already a 10-1 game.
That's right. Well, he's letting Halama in as he was the last addition to the playoff roster. Lou Piniella wanted 3 left-handers. Halama had a fine season. Good young pitcher. Fastball, curveball, slider, change.
And remember, the winner of this one goes up 2-1. When you check your brackets, hope everybody Xerox off in the office pool. The A's and the Yankees, you'll see that later tonight on Fox from out in Oakland. Vito against Mussina. The A's trying to close out and move on. St. Louis is currently leading their games today and needing to force Game 5 back in Arizona. They would draw Kurt Schilling. Colbert Cabrera pinch hitting for Russ Brandon. And peels one away foul.
Colbert Cabrera, fine young talent for Cleveland. He can play anywhere. Shortstop, third base, second base, first. He can play him anywhere in the outfield.
Kind of the answer to Mark McLemore, if you will. McLemore playing short for Seattle in this series because of the sickness to Carlos Guillen.
Cabrera 2 for 14 for Charlie Manuel off the bench this year.
There's hit number 3 for Charlie Manuel off the bench. And the lead balloons to 11-1. Good a time as any for a game break. Let's get caught up with Jeannie Velasco in L.A.
Josh, Derek Jeter just getting ready in Oakland, where he admits the goal is to win a championship. If you don't, it's a failure, which is exactly what the world champs are facing. The elimination game coming up on the Fox Network tonight.
We'll be watching. Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, you know, Doc Gooden, when he was here in Cleveland, of course, he pitched for the Yankees, too. Doc used to walk around at that Cleveland clubhouse with a T-shirt a couple years ago that read, "It don't mean a thing until you get the ring." That's echoed by Derek Jeter. Of course, the Yankees have been hoarding rings. 4 of the last 5 World Series are theirs.
Certainly have. They've done it with pitching, defense, offense, star players, and star manager Joe Torre.
The Indians haven't won one since 1948. There's ground ball to short. McLemore couldn't get rid of it. Out the call at second anyway. Well, the flypaper glove almost undoing McLemore. The Mariners did get one out.
Well, it stuck in McLemore's glove. Hobart Cabrera, his sights were breaking up the double play. If he'd have slid directly into the base, he would have been safe. Look at McLemore lost his glove.
Trying to get rid of the ball from the glove. He got rid of the whole glove. Look at this.
He did. It just stuck. Look at it. It came off me. Funny to see that. But, hey, he was able to get it out.
Maybe.
McLemore would have been better off just shoveling the glove and everything, but he got the out. You can see Cabrera never touched the base. Good call by Ed Rapalano at second base.
Top of the order, Kenny Lofton. He homered last time. Boy, when things go wrong, they really go wrong. A sure-handed Mark McLemore. High strike is called, 1-1. Indians have been at this postseason thing since the early 1900s, and they have records tied today. 15 hits and 11 runs. Looking to break the tie is Lofton. He curls one to left. Runner tags at third, coming in, and the ball gets away. Diaz will hustle down to second. That'll be the third Seattle error of the afternoon. Just to pour some lemon juice in an open paper cut here. 12-1.
Well, Buhner, he has a very good throwing arm, and he was showing it off there. The ball just got behind the runner. Fryman hit him in the back. Look at him load his feet up. Got a good base to throw from. Ball just leaked up the line on him. Travis Fryman hit him in the leg. Diaz was already heading back towards first base, went back and tagged up, touched the base, and went to second. That's why there's no appeal play. Heads up base runner.
Omar Vizquel, 3 out of 4. 3 runs in the 6th inning. The Indians had 91 wins for the regular season. They were the low seed, if you will. The fewest wins of any of the teams getting in from the American League. Of course, they were the low seed in 97. Came within and out of winning the World Series. Cracked in a right center, fairly deep. Cameron racing, makes the catch. The Indians tack on 3 more. Jim Thome had a homer. Fox Sports over the Major League Baseball playoffs and the World Series. Returns after these messages from your local Fox station. Cabrera stays in the game, plays left. Admittedly, that is not the page 1 story here today. Indians 12, Mariners 1. A stunning performance in Game 3. David Bell knocks the first pitch from Sabathia inside the line, and Cabrera. See, that's why we showed you Cabrera.
You knew he was going to get some action.
First pitch of the inning, line down his way.
Well, the ball will always find you if you're a defensive replacement. You better be alive. The ball has a way. There it was. Bell jumped on the first fastball from CC. Now, Hobart, he didn't even want to concede a double here. He was very quick on his feet. He threw it into second base, but Bell made it easy.
David Bell can turn on a fastball just like his dad did for so many years here in Cleveland. Still, it's a 5-hitter for CC Sabathia. And finally, there will be action behind him in the bullpen. David Risky walking down there. Boy, was he throwing smoke in Seattle.
short armor, and he's very effective in his release work from Chuck Finley.
Many ways to describe this game. Nail-biter is not on the list. The Indians came back from down 12, not 11, but 12 on Seattle earlier this year. The comeback began in the 7th inning. But honestly, we're reaching.
Yeah, we are.
Inside corner, and it's 3-1.
The postseason game is a little bit different. Sele coming into this inning, having thrown 108 pitches. Charlie will try to see if he can get through this inning and then likely get him out.
Now there's the walk, 2 on. And it does roll back to the top of the order, and Ichiro. 114 pitches. Big Paul is out to the mound. Look at this, a standing ovation for the pitching coach. The fact that it's the pitching coach and not the manager out there.
That's appealing to the crowd as they're showing their approval.
Now the Indians apparently had it right coming out of spring training. They knew he'd be good. We talked to John Hart, the general manager. He had a hunch.
I don't think any of us felt that CC would be our leading winner. But I think a lot of us felt that CC was going to be a factor this year. Very special talent. You know, and what he did this year, 17 wins. I guess the last young rookie we had that won that many games was Herb Score. And, you know, it's pretty good company right there. This is a very special kid. And, you know, without CC Sabathia, we're not sitting here.
Facing the man who will beat him out for Rookie of the Year. That's Ichiro. Gets ahead of him 0-1.
One special talent to another.
Scrapes the corner, 0-2.
John Hart let it be known that this is his last year with Cleveland as a general manager. He wants to go out all the way on top. 0-2.
Little pop-up. That's going to find right center. Coming around and heading for the plate, David Bell. And he's in as the ball gets away. So Ichiro is swatting one for his 6th hit of the series. It is back to within 12-2. And we maybe are inching closer to seeing Sabathia out of the game.
Lofton did a good job of getting to this ball. Comes up with a nice throw. A little bit of a short hop to Diaz at home who didn't have much time. And Dick Pohl's coming out. And that means that'll be it for CC.
Not the only one digging it. You done splendid, CC.
Series on Fox. One, you gotta have one. And by Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
Dusk here in Cleveland, and the sun is set on CC Sabathia's first playoff start. He got some run support, and boy, did he get some crowd support today, too. David Risky, the new pitcher, and Mike Cameron cranked one foul. Ellisburg, his surrogate big brother, as CC has described him. Job well done.
David Risky, he'll come in and challenge some of these hitters with a nice big lead. Nobody out, second and first.
It's just cut if there's a comeback for the ages in the offense. Risky is not the guy you'd figure would let it happen. He has been lights out down the stretch.
Absolutely. 1.98 ERA. 27 and 1/3. He's got a real sneaky, quick fastball, slider, and a split finger.
Cameron called out on strike. 1 down, 7th inning.
Risky has the ability to hide that ball. He's kind of short armor. Comes right out from his body. CC says, all right. Like to see that. Paints the corner. Sneaky quick.
Brett Boone having a miserable series so far. 1 for 11. Half a dozen strikeouts. 3 today. The Indians, the champions of the AL Central. And therein lies the tale, Hut, because had they been in the East, as they used to be, back before the divisions all split and went 3 ways instead of 2, they would have finished behind the Yankees. Would not have been the wild card. Oakland with 100-odd wins, cementing that. 7 years ago, there was a question. Should the Indians go to the AL Central or join the AL East? Marketing people all said East. Keep the Yankees rivalry and more appropriate start times on the road for TV purposes. You know how those TV people are. The baseball people here in Cleveland said Central, figuring by default they could win the division every year. They've been right 6 out of those 7 years. Team president Dick Jacobs cast the deciding vote. And if there's a reason this stadium should indeed be named after Mr. Jacobs, that's probably it. He made the right call, as it turned out. Central over the East. That's why the Indians are here today.
Absolutely. Jerry Emanuel, Chicago White Sox, made it interesting the last couple of years. This year they fell short some, and Minnesota came on. I'd like to say congratulations to Tom Kelly, who announced his retirement on his fantastic run as skipper for the Minnesota Twins.
Twins, a very worthy opponent for the Indians all year. But Cleveland at 91 wins, getting in. Facing a team that won 116, Seattle. Boone is in danger of striking out again, 3-2.
He's already got the hat trick today, something he's not proud of. And the next one, they call in the game the Golden Sombrero. Don't ask me why.
No sombrero. Instead, the walk. Second walk of the inning. And they're loaded up for Edgar Martinez. Don't forget, coming up at around 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here on Fox. Must win for Derek Jeter and the Yankees, taking on Jason Giambi and the A's. 17-game winners hooking up Yasina and Zito. The road to the World Series continuing tonight right here on Fox. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That young Oakland A's team. We get down to that round of 4. The LCS, the American League, the National League. Could be that there's an A on everybody's hat except for the winner of this series, Arizona, Atlanta, and the A's.
Risky. He's looking for a double play ball. Ball back to him. He'll throw home. Go around the diamond that way. Home to first. Edgar. He'd love to get a hold of a fastball and ride it out of the park. Get him halfway home. Against the Tribe, who's just unloaded on the Seattle pitching.
And you've got to figure, Rex, that the rallying cry in the dugout right now is let's do unto them as they did unto us. August the 5th, Mariners were up 12. The Indians rallied starting in the 7th inning.
That's the game that Charlie Manuel says really turned around the Cleveland Indians. Come back on a team like Seattle. Pretty impressive.
Up and outside.
It had only been done one time before, 1911. you're a Seattle fan, you like to see Edgar go 10 grand slams in his career.
Looking to, they fouled it off. Of course, the Indians fans well versed. Their team giving up big hits to guys named Edgar. Their hearts were broken by Edgar Renteria in the World Series 4 years ago. A little more wiggle room here.
Edgar a little bit behind the risky fastball. He's got the ability to hit home runs to all parts of the field. Risky might throw the split finger here.
Right field, Gonzalez.
Oh, he catches.
Makes the catch. McLemore back to third. Gonzalez having already thrown out a runner in this game tonight.
Okay, now watch it. Look at Vizquel. He's going to become the cutoff man. Nice hustle. He's going to come all the way over here. 2 men are out. Alomar and Tomey. Now Vizquel, being heads up, comes in and cuts that ball off. That's proper. That just comes from knowing the game and knowing your teammates and what situation and what to do.
Risky doing his job. We got a lefty coming up in Olerud, though, so the call goes to the bullpen. We'll be right back. Ichiro and Omar Vizquel, who's taller? You make the call. They were comparing and contrasting moments ago. Ichiro speaks pretty good Spanish, believe it or not. Vizquel and Alomar both there. Officially, each of them listed at 5'9" if you are scoring at home. Ricardo Rincon with the bases loaded and Olerud up there. 12-2 Cleveland in the 7th.
Rincon, he's in there. He's a specialist. He gets left-handers out. That's what his job's going to be here. He's a fastball slider guy. Occasional changeup.
Olerud still has only hit 1 ball out of the infield in this series. And the Mariners have only 2 hits in 3 games with runners in scoring position. They are very much in danger of being down 2-1 in the best of 5. Striper didn't ring him up.
No, and Rincon, he thought he had it. He hopped off that mound. Quick breaking slider. Olerud widening out the zone here. Anything close, he's just going to try to get those runs home.
The count. Bases full. Seattle trying to chisel back in it. Doesn't look like it'll happen. Alomar to Tomey. Fans are on their feet at Jacobs Field, and that is where they'll stay. God Bless America will be performed now. And a pleasure to keep it right here.
God bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
in Cleveland. 12-2 Indians in Game 4, looking to go up 2-1. And again, a stirring 7th-inning stretch. God bless America, replacing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Our game summary brought to you by Nissan. We'll get you back there in just a moment. Ground ball, Alomar in the hole. McLemore a leap and a throw. Too late. Alomar took kind of a zigzag path to get. It goes as an infield hit.
Alomar hits the top half of the ball. McLemore off balance throw. Sailed it just a hair. He got under that throw. Tough play to make, but if you're going to make that play, you got to get on top of that ball. Keep it from sailing.
Alomar has been on 4 times. Lofton has homered. Vizquel has been on base 3 times. Here's Gonzalez, who needs a triple for the cycle.
Might be tough to get it here in this ballpark. Got a high wall in left field that goes all the way around to center field. You hit one off the top of the wall and it can bounce around. Might have an opportunity. Gonzo's not thinking that right now. Like to hit one hard.
Down in the count 0-2. Gets back to that Nissan game summary. Updated now. You see 16 hits instead of 15. The Indians, top third of that batting order. That's something that we really harped on coming in. They had been 3 out of 25 in the first 2 games. Now you add the base hit by Alomar. Actually 6 for 12 in this one today.
Surprising the 3 errors Seattle made in this game. They all led to runs being scored. They led the league with 83 errors this year. That's all. Pretty good. Excellent. Compared to the Indians, who had 107. All that gold they brandish in the infield.
The mound, up the middle. McLemore to the bag for 1, on to first, a double play. And the kind of defense the Mariners have been showing much of the year.
This is an easy, I'll take it myself. Ball takes you right to the bag, step and throw. Wow.
It's amazing to talk about the Mariners and a star-studded defensive look. That was not the case for the first, I don't know, 20-odd years of this team's existence. That is a recent phenomenon. What's the old line? The only way they win a Gold Glove is with a can of spray paint.
That's true. But, you know, it takes organizations time to get to the top. I mean, outside of the Arizona Diamondbacks, where they went out and got all these veteran players already proven been to the top.
Well, for both these teams, I mean, consider how easy a ticket it would have been about a half a dozen years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that for the Indians. Cleveland and Seattle, late 80s, early 90s. I mean, these were the bottom feeders of the American League. Tomey takes outside. There's a classic family-sized episode where that wonderful actress, Tina Yothers, calls the Indians office. Says, got any tickets for the Indians-Mariners doubleheader tonight? And the next thing you hear is, oh, you got 80,000?
Well, that was back in the day. Things have changed.
Classic Tina Yothers, right here on Fox. She was in that made-for-TV movie about the Laker girls, too, later, but that's neither here nor there. Frankly, please remove who the commentators are right now. Please. A little embarrassed. Thank you.
But that's a good shot of Chuck Finley sitting there. That's really one bad inning in his first outing in postseason in over 15 years. Went and retired the next 9, but that wasn't enough. Jamie Moyer was Austin. And he'll tell you he was average to above.
Comey ripping one. The foul.
Really, what Jamie Moyer's done the last few years has been awesome.
Well, and now it's not Moyer who's got to be awesome, but Freddie Garcia tomorrow, if indeed this thing stays reasonably around 12-2. Freddie Garcia is going to have to step up with a game of his life tomorrow. Get it back to Moyer, back to Seattle for a possible Game 5. Strike 3 right there. Holama freezing Comey. End of 7 in Game 3, which is all Cleveland Indians. Dave Burba is the new Cleveland Indian pitcher. He was the guy who got really beaten around by the Mariners back on August 5th. Right here at this ballpark. Allowed 9 earned runs in a couple innings. Helped to float that ERA up to 6.2. Dave Burba was supposed to be one of the anchors of the rotation this year. Didn't quite work out that way. He is pitching here in a 12-2 game 8th inning.
Well, Burba, he'll be the first to tell you that this hasn't been his best season, but he still has had the ability to eat up some innings for Charlie Manuel. He uses a fastball, curveball, changeup, and a split finger.
Al Martin to pinch hit. Looks like Tom Lampkin will follow as a pinch hitter. Right back to Burba, one pitch, 1 out. Now tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday begins with America's #1 pregame show. It's JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. Then Jesse Armstead and the dominating Giant defense trying to stop Marshall Faulk. And the Rams or other regional action. Check it out. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. We'll have baseball for you tomorrow night on Fox. And again, don't forget, when this game is over, get you ready for Game 3, the A's and the Yankees tonight. Literally a must-win for New York.
Seattle's back will be against the wall. They can't come through here today. But the second time, really, they lost Game 1, and it was pretty critical that they win Game 2, and they did.
Lampkin a wave and a miss. Remember, this is a Seattle team that raced out 20-4. I mean, back against the wall is not a phrase they've heard a lot, if at all, this year. They could be very unceremoniously dismissed. The 116 wins don't do a thing for them now here in the postseason. If they can win tomorrow, and assuming they lose here in Game 3, got to go back to Seattle for the right to move on.
Dave Burba tied up Tom Lampkin. 2 quick outs here.
And remember how this game started today. CC Sabathia, 21 years old. And really seemed like he was listing in that first inning. He had walked in a run. He had big bad Jay Buhner staring at him with the bases loaded, 1 out. But Sabathia found something. Certainly his composure. Bell trays one out of play. He got Buhner on a foul out. Got Dan Wilson on a foul out. And from there, well, the Indians' bats went to work. You see, they chart not the K's but the C's for CC.
That's right. CC found a way to get through that first inning. That's usually the toughest inning for any pitcher.
All the Mariners pitchers had tough innings in the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth.
Burba goes to that split finger as his strikeout pitch. Bell not fighting.
2 out of 3 today and 4 for 8 in the series. He and Ichiro really have been the best hitters. Pretty much the only hitters for Seattle in this series so far. Cleveland had gotten nothing from the top of its order until today. Lofton, Vizquel, Alamos, all igniting things. Ichiro's been the igniter all year for Seattle. Hot shot foul. Game 4 tomorrow would be Garcia and Colon, a rematch of what you saw in Game 1 on Tuesday. And Bartolo Colon, with the sunlight and the shadows as his friend, was dominant. In the air, right field. Cleveland trying to build on a 10-run lead, going to the bottom of the 8th on Fox.
Shortstop. McLemore goes
in Cleveland, 12-2 Indians. Yes, he said 12-2 Indians. As we get to the bottom of the 8th in Game 3, we are certainly now looking forward to Game 4. Looking more and more like a must-win for Seattle. For the Cleveland Indians, this is the last hurrah for their general manager of the last 10 years, John Hart, telling us it is pretty hard to say goodbye.
I've had the great gift to be able to be the general manager of this franchise, a great franchise, and to come to work every day around great people, to be in a great city that just, you know, the turnaround that we had there, I mean, it's been a joy every single day for me.
Well, revisionist history maybe, and I'll tell you why. At the end of his first year, 1991, the Cleveland Plain Dealer, a local newspaper here, I remember this. You know, everybody does the report cards at the end of the year, and John Hart, on a team that admittedly was littered with a bunch of C's and D's, D pluses, he got a big fat F with his first year as general manager. And the resulting paragraph that explained why was not too positive. But 10 years later,
Great taste!
a chance to get rid of Seattle maybe as soon as tomorrow. Jose Paniagua takes over here in the bottom of the 8th.
You're right. John Hart needs to hold his head high. There's Paniagua. Tough time to try to get Burks out, who's been swinging a hot bat during this series here. Paniagua's got a sinking fastball, slider, and a split finger.
Bumps it out of play. Some other defensive changes, too. Lampkin stays in the game to catch. McLemore has pinballed out to left field, clearing the way for the rookie to get his feet wet at short. Ramon Vasquez into the postseason for the first time. Again, Carlos Guillen not available for the Mariners in this first round of the postseason anyway.
Tom Lampkin, solid backup.
1-2 the count to Burke. Interesting, too, to see who's up and throwing for the Indians right now in the bullpen. This is not what John Hart had envisioned when he traded for him. But there's John Rocker pitching in a game that is not 3-2, but 12-2 if he gets in.
And right now, you would have to say that Atlanta made out on that deal. State, Steve Carsey, and Rick Reed, two solid relievers. Bobby Cox using that bullpen in Atlanta. John Smoltz, unbelievable.
Vasquez tested out immediately. And he hastens the test, 1 out. We invite you to pick up the specially marked Mach 3 pack in stores now. Get a free limited edition World Series watch inside. Go to Mach3.com for details. And who'd have thought that the Seattle Mariners would be pondering that the way to check out the World Series would be going to the store and picking up a Mach 3. They might have to be watching from the outside if things don't turn around tomorrow.
be easy here at the J. Starting times have not been announced yet.
Bartolo Colon will get the ball for Charlie Manuel tomorrow. Wyman bouncing to third.
I'm sure Seattle is hoping that there's not any kind of shades out there, any kind of sunlight. That's hope it's nighttime.
Yeah, Bartolo Colon, sunlight and shadows, but oh, by the way, a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, too, in game 1.
He was just dominant. If you watch, he didn't miss any over the plate. Watch it. Look at he's hitting Diaz's spots every time. Everything was up and out around the zone. That's key.
Look out. Paniagua drills Cabrera.
There's a fastball got away.
Very mild reaction from Cabrera and from the bench as well.
Hit him right in the wallet. Good spot to get hit if you're going to get hit. A lot of padding back there, especially some of these ball players.
Yes. Some more than others, you're right.
That's right. They work hard. Brooks eating those sunflower seeds. CC Sabathia, he went on the sunflower seed diet here just a little while ago when he became a spectator.
Sabathia was into the dugout only after 6 strong innings. And this is approximating Seattle's worst performance of the season. They had a 14-2 loss in the regular season one. That is Texas. But here in game 3, the swing game of the 5-game series, we went inside at 1. The Mariners got up a run early. And then, wow, got to be 12-1 and now 12-2. Of course, the other forgettable Seattle Mariners performance, not in terms of it being a blowout, but in terms of it getting away. That was that 12-run lead that they lost at this ballpark in August.
Any panic in the Seattle Mariners, though. It's a confident ball club. And now Paniagua, he's not real happy with the location and what Paul Schreiber calls a ball there. And Tom Laskin's going to do the best thing and go out there and try to settle him down a little bit before Schreiber has any bad feelings towards him.
Again, the Yankees and A's coming up. Already the best speed, if you will, out of the National League has been bounced. That was Houston. They would have had a home field all the way through. And Seattle, again, it certainly appears needing to win games 4 and 5 if they can't pull off a rally for all time in game 3.
Now Schreiber's coming out to the mound. Paniagua might get an opportunity to have a word with him. Rice will say, hey, where were those pitches?
No, to be honest about it, Hud, Mariners have larger problems right now than Schreiber squeezing Paniagua. So it looked like they were out there chatting about it. This copyrighted telecast, by the way, presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Mariners will not be looking to retransmit or reproduce this tape, I guarantee you. They will be looking to press the fast forward button, if not the erase. Well, 2 lead for Cleveland. Indians having out-hit the Mariners 16-6. Josh Lewin, Rex Hudler in Cleveland with you. We'll be back here tomorrow for game 4. And again, the Yankees and A's are on deck here on Fox tonight.
Paniagua just not able to find the plate.
Hit that and now back-to-back walks to get it to Vizquel. Santiago still doesn't seem real happy with Schreiber, but...
Well, you know, you can't make the umpire upset by showing him up like that on the mound. That doesn't help your chances at all. So what happens, and that's just the way the game is played, that umpire, he's not going to give you anything unless it's just right down the middle.
Gave him that one on the corner, 0-1. One of many Indians with multiple hits today, Vizquel. To left. Back. Drop. McLemore couldn't hold it. 1 run in. They're waving in a second. Ball comes loose.
Vizquel popped it pretty good, but you saw the hesitation by McLemore. That one hesitation just was unable to hold on to it. A little bit behind it. Good relay throw, but it was in line of Kenny Lofton sliding hard. No chance. Cleveland gets 2 more.
Bases loaded double, a 5 RBI game for the shortstop, Omar Vizquel, the former Mariner. This ball spooned to left by Alomar. Back. And it is off the wall. Another run scored.
Drive's not done here at the bottom of the 8th.
If you're Cleveland, you cannot get into Game 4 any stronger than after this performance today. And if you're the Mariners, you can't limp in any worse. These 2 cities, Seattle and Cleveland, we mentioned it, the NFL teams played, the Seahawks and the Browns. Wow. That was 9-6, 15 points in that game, if you will. Got 18 in a ball game here today.
6 ribbies for Vizquel. We also talked about the importance of the top of the order to Cleveland. If they were going to do anything, they had to cause some action on the base. They have. Lofton, Vizquel, Alomar, Gonzalez, Homey. All with big nights.
Now Gonzalez stroking one out of play.
And another 2-out rally.
Amazing that a few hours ago we were talking about Aaron Sele and his lack of run support. I guess technically another lack of run support today, but he would have needed 16 just to tie. The storylines of this game have changed incredibly.
Cleveland 5 for 8 with runners in scoring positions at 2 outs today.
Run support for that guy, CC Sabathia. Well, the Seattle Mariners pressed right up against it, sending Garcia out there tomorrow. Trying to figure out how to stop Lofton, Vizquel, and Alomar at top of the order.
Bartolo Colon looming in the back, the minds of the Seattle Mariner hitters. No starting time announced, they're wondering.
Alomar has been on base 5 times today. Vizquel has been on 4 with 4 hits, and as you mentioned, Hud, 6 runs batted in. Lofton's been on base 3 times today. So that's a dozen guys that have been on for Juan Gonzalez.
Can't complain when you're an RBI guy like him. Paniagua, foot finger, trying to do anything he can to get Gonzalez out of there with 2 outs.
Way back when the Mariners had a 1-0 lead, and the young starter for Cleveland, Sabathia, was reeling in that first inning. Hammer to left, fair! And almost apologetically, Alomar is coming to the plate. Unbelievable. Four hits for Gonzalez. 4 for Vizquel, 3 for Alomar. We could go on and on.
Runs all over the board. Hits all over the board.
Comey tails one out of play. We'd like to welcome those of you who have watched the Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks. Stay on your couch. That's absolutely accurate. 17-2. The team that finished 20 games over 500 is annihilating the team that finished 70 games over 500. Setting up Game 4 tomorrow, and the Indians, barring a 16-run 9th-inning rally, will be in position to win it. Advance to the winner of the Yankees and the A's. Comey, a foul ball, and he has certainly joined the band in this one. He had a home run in the 6th in support of C.C. Sabathia, 21-year-old rookie. Holy run support, Batman.
Got that right, Robin. But they're not done.
You're right. Oh, announced the call at first by Rick Reed to mercifully draw the curtain shut on a 5-run 8th. 42,000 people here. No one's left.
Second time tonight, Cleveland has batted around. Here's Olerud. Ball gets to him pretty quick. He backs up and ate him up. Boone, nice backup. Shovel pass to Paniagua. Barely got Comey.
Now they get to cheer for John Rocker, of all things. Will he save a 15-run 9th-inning lead? Shall we say not a saved situation? Here are the brackets. Again, the Cardinals getting done what they needed to at home. It'll be back to Phoenix now as you look lower right on your bracket sheet. Of course, the Braves await the winner. And you'll see on Fox tonight, Oakland trying to finish off the team that has won it all for the last 5 years. And tomorrow, Cleveland will try and finish off Seattle. And Rex, we talked about it right at the beginning of this period. The Indians of 47 years ago providing the best reminder available that just because you dominated the regular season, nothing is guaranteed. The 1954 Indians were the original juggernaut. They went 111-43. Now the second best winning percentage in the history of Major League Baseball, and they were ousted. They were swept. That in the World Series by Willie Mays and the Giants. It'll be Garcia and Colon. A couple of hard-throwing young right-handers tomorrow. And Seattle must win to keep this thing alive and send it back home.
Cleveland definitely has the momentum. Unbelievable performance from C.C. Sabathia and the offense. Great defensive plays as well by the Tribe.
And again, the Yankees and A's coming up. Mussina and Zito promised to keep it a little more entertaining than 17-2. That's 17 games won with Mussina and Zito.
And you have two excellent teams that are fighting off elimination. Yankees and now Seattle.
Cleveland's top of the order today, 1 through 4, 12 for 19. And a lead of 17-2 to protect. Quotation marks left and right of that word. John Walker is on.
Walker, fastball slider. He'll throw to Charles Gibson, who's getting a pinch hit.
Walker described as a top stepper. The guy that the manager and pitching coach watched very anxiously from the top step. Nobody very anxious right here, though. Walker to the bag. 1 out.
Well, it appears as if the Cleveland game is easily in hand. Safe to say the Indians have the 2-1 series lead. When we come back, the elimination game, Game 3 in Oakland. We'll break down the Yankees and the A's.